China, they say.
Ding Dong Bell must come back for revenge.
In China, they say.
Hey, you want some chicken chow mein? Maybe I distract him.
Charlie Chan, Chicky Chang Wang, Charlie Chan, Chica Chaka Chunga Cha.
Shut the fuck up.
Charlie Chan, Chicky Chang Wang, Charlie Chan, Chica Chaka Chunga Cha.
Shut the fuck up.
Chan, Charlie Chan, Chicky Chang Wang, Charlie Chan, Chica Chaka Chunga Cha.
Shut the fuck up.
1 2 check Chuffy 1 2. Hi, you're with Scott. I'm Super Chuffer. It's midnight. It's midnight. It's always midnight. It's right here. And your left ear. Yes, I am wearing my astronaut outfit. Yes, because I went to the dentist today. So yes, I am wearing my. It's cool. I'm wearing this because I went to the dentist today. And when I sit in the chair at the dentist's and I lie back like that, and you can't talk to them because you've got your mouth open. They do that. I pretend I'm in a rocket going to space. I don't actually. I actually pretend that I'm lying on the beach. Big ups everyone in chat. I think I've already had a super chat that I've missed. I'm trying to scroll back to that and it's gone. I think I've already had a super chat that I've missed. I think it was from Happy Days, but I don't know. I was a bit late to start the stream because I was coming back from the dentist. What we've got for you today is we've got Angry Alan's Monday Blues. That actually is a face he pulled. That is his actual neck. That's actually. Chicka chicka chang wang, Charlie Chan, chicka 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 cha. Hello. Hello to you.
Hello. Being this is such a serious subject, it's funny to kind of joke around sometimes and say things that might, in a serious setting, be racially insensitive.
Got some new buttons, obviously.
I can say whatever the fuck I want and you like it. Or you shut the fuck up. There's too many fucking idiots.
There's facts, there's reality, and then there's your
Bullshit world. Mukbang, 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 mukbangs.
A few new buttons for you.
Cheeseburger challenges.
I can say whatever the fuck I want and you like it. Or you shut the fuck up.
So Alan came on yesterday, right? And obviously I will have to get my relaxing background music. I forgot to do that. And I will have to quickly shout out coffee.com. Obviously tippies, you can tippy through Super Chat. You can tippy through your members. And if you tippy through this system, it reads it out on the screen. We can change the picture to something more appropriate if you want than the clothes from IKEA, whatever. And I get more of a cut from this, but I'm very grateful for all of it. I think I've missed a super chat already, so whichever one I missed. And also, sometimes I miss at the end. I think Ellie gave me a tip, and I don't know if I caught it at the end of the last episode or not. I can't remember. So thank you, Ellie. She's first on the list from the last tip. I'll try and call out whoever's first on the list from the last lot at the start of the episodes, because I think I miss some in between sometimes. Sometimes they tip off when I'm offline as well. So thank you very much for that, and Cornflower there. And Trisha, I'm pretty sure we shouted you out in the last episode. So thank you, you chuffers. And that's the tippy system. Tonight, of course, we are looking at Angry Alan. You've had the Monday. You've had Angry Alan's Blue Monday, where even though I thought he wouldn't file a defence, it seems he's filed a defence, potentially. Ooh. So, if you don't know what I'm talking about, better get to know it. You're going to have to go and watch hundreds of hours of Alan content. Essentially, this man's being sued for defamation by the family of the murder victim in the Chris Watts case. Hello to you. That racism that we were listening to, that song that's a racist song, obviously it's funny because I think racism is bad, and I think it's funny that this man was doing racism on the internet and he did a top 10 racist comments video. So
I couldn't be happier.
Happy days sent tippies.
There you go.
Super Chuffer owes 3 hugs.
And I'll give you the button. Wait, I've got the button for that. I've got a button.
We're clothes from IKEA.
There you go. I'm going to have to get some relaxing background music, but this, I just wanted to point out, it's not racist. We're laughing at somebody else being racist, and racism is bad, so that's why we're laughing at it, okay?
China, they say, cat very delicious.
Let's go for some relaxing.
China, they say, Charlie Chan, chicky chicky Chan, Wayne, Charlie Chan, chicka 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 chicka. Charlie Chan, chicky chicky Chan, Wayne, Charlie Chan, chicka 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 chicka.
Shut the fuck up.
I couldn't be happier.
Swish,
Justification
and
of
then
Joe
whoosh.
Centipede. Thanks for all your content and all you do. You've been my saviour this month.
Thank you.
Super Chuffer owes 6 hugs.
Thank you. Nice to know we're making a difference.
We're closed from IKEA.
There is no child porn on the internet. I hate to warn you that. There is no child porn on the
Radical
internet.
Rob
Like
sent
sex.
tippies. Evening fellow chuffers. Super Chuffer owes 3 hugs.
Good evening, Radical Rob. Do you want the same button? Do you want a different button? I've got a different button, look.
AD, 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 AD!
Bloody hell, calm down, Alan.
Torture the battery boy.
That's better. I've got some new buttons as well. Like I said, there's always going to be new buttons. I'm getting to the point where I've got so many buttons now. I've got more windows than Buckingham Palace and more buttons than the uniforms of the guards that guard it. Now, I've got so many buttons. I've got so many. What's this one? Don't even start on that one. That's just, that was a fail of a button. You don't need that one. Didn't need that one. I've got this button.
I can say whatever the fuck I want, and you like it. Or you shut the fuck up.
Oh, I just realised that's me monetized, done. Swearing in the first few seconds. Oh, I hope I played enough Charlie Chan Chicky Chicky Wang to get through that. Not monetizable now because of the swearing. Oh,
There's too many fucking idiots.
right. Okay, let's get into it then. The Monday Blues. This is going to be an incredible episode. Of course, I gave it a quick skim through beforehand. Things that I want to highlight to you before we get there. I'm on Twitch. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitter. I'm on all the different. Oh, I'm everywhere. Oh, I'm everywhere. This is me on Twitter, the Super Chuffer, at Super Chuffer. And I've recently tweeted a couple of things that Angry Alan has said to look out for in this episode. So we'll have a little look at the things I've tweeted, won't we? We'll have a look at the little media bits that I've tweeted. Here they are, look. Ooh, Angry Alan being bad. What's he been saying? Let's have a look, eh? Let's have a look. And we can look at some funny tweets that I did as well.
That I've been far more harassed than they have. And you know that.
So this is what's coming up.
People here, you know how I've been harassed.
He's been harassed. Oh, it's bad. Far more harassed than they have, he said. Does that mean, in a court of law, Your Honour, where were you on the night of the 14th? Does that mean that Alan is admitting they've been harassed? The other party, the Ruseks, they have been harassed. Who by, Alan? You?
I have evidence that proves that I've been far more harassed than they have. And
Than they have. So that's interesting, isn't it? Later on, he's going to beg for money.
for the future. I'm going to really think this week on what to do for the future. If anybody's got any ideas, send them to me how I can make money. Not give me money. Give me an idea on how to make money. I need a way of making money. I'm going to really think this
Big
week
ups,
on what
Candice. I didn't take down the AD court update. That should still be up. I think it might be tripping me out. Nice to shout it out, though, if anyone hasn't seen it. Videos recently, we've got Angry Alan's Awful Holiday and Angry Alan's court update. It's just still there. It's just there. It's there. So if you haven't seen the court update from... Well, now we're going to get a new update from after D-Day, aren't we?
to do for the future.
He's going to ask for money.
If anybody's got any ideas, send them to me.
If anyone's got any ideas on how to make money, send them to Alan. He's going to do that. What just happened here?
Again. I couldn't be happier.
Whoa, what just happened here?
Claire sent tippies.
It's raining again.
Thanks for Angry Alan's birthday show and for keeping us laughing. A weird detective turned up on my doorstep drooling and ranting about gang stalkers Martin Dehan NK and Sex Mad Val.
Sex Mad Val!
Off with his head. Super Chuffer owes 3 hugs.
It's raining again. I couldn't be happier.
A bit of a do sent tippies. Thanks for the content. Can we have a tiptoe through the tulips button?
Ooh.
Super Chuffer owes 9 hugs.
That would be a good button. It might get copyright, I don't know. I was going to read those out, but because they overlap to each other, so I'll read them out for you. Then we'll get going with today's episode, I promise. A weird detective turned up on my doorstep, drooling and ranting about gang stalkers. Martin Dean, NK, and Sex Mad Val off with his head. Thank you, Blind Leading the Blind. And that overlapped. Is it going to load up? I should hope it will. Welcome to coffee. All right. Thank you. Thank you, coffee.com. Okay, that's having a bit of a think. So, well, that's having a bit of a think. We'll just leave that. I've got my relaxing music. I've got what I need. I was showing you bits of Alan on Twitch, but it's Twitter, sorry, but it's not the most important thing to do, is it? We're going to watch that thing now. So we'll watch that thing now. The cat started. So getting all these things out of the way. Now the dog. No, not you. You're out there, you chuffer. What else has Bad Alan said?
Yeah, I did use hashtags.
Yeah, I did use hashtags, he says. We'll find out later. That's an important part of the court case that he's admitting to there.
Oh dear. And I did speak about Shanann Watts, but she's dead.
Both animals.
You can't have a case against a dead person.
She's dead.
Dear oh dear. And I did speak about Shanann Watts, but she's dead, and you can't have a case against a dead person.
Alan, potentially. Well, Alan's being sued for defamation by Frank Rusick Jr., who is the brother of Shanann Watts, who is dead, according to Alan. That's coming up. That's coming up.
I'm not even on friggin' YouTube. There's one tuber that did a 5-hour show on me yesterday.
That's me. That's
69.
me. That's me. You won't call me Super Chuffer.
I'm not on YouTube. Yet you can find 5 hours to talk about me.
I can find 5 hours.
Because it thinks it earns him money. It doesn't earn him money.
It did. Some money did come in from that.
Makes him look stupid.
Did it make me look stupid? Hit you with that do 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 do. Hit you with that do 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 do. Hit you with that do 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 do. Hit you with that do 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 do.
Now hold on, Lorraine.
I can make myself look stupid, Franks.
Hello, Moto. How are you? I am under the water. Please help me.
I think I can make myself look stupid.
I've got to really think this week on what to do for the future. If anybody's got any ideas, send them to me how I can make money. Not give me money. Give me an idea on how to make money. I need a way of making money.
I've got an idea. If anyone's okay, so big question for tonight. Big question for you. You can have the big question is you put it in comments as well. You put it in the chat. You can put it in comments as well. Does anyone have any good ideas on how Alan can make money? Anyone got any good ideas on how Alan can make money? Comments in the chat. It's tonight's big question. The big question. Tonight's big question. Anyone got any ideas on how to make money? I've got an idea on how Alan can make money. He could do a show with me, except he's banned from YouTube. So I'd still think he could do a show with me. And what we'd have to do is we'd have to find somewhere else to market it and make the money out of it. Is there a prize? No, there's no prize. There's no prize.
I can't take it anymore!
There's no prize.
Oh, what are you on your way to?
Wait, I'm trying to find the right button now. No, I've pressed the wrong button. Look, there's no prize. It's just, there's no prize. We're going to find out about Alan's financial misfortunes as we go on tonight. But there's a couple of little highlights that you're going to enjoy as the night goes on. Now, I want to make this clear as well. Tonight's thumbnail, I want to make this very clear because he'll say it, he'll get eggy about it. If you look on the live stream, tonight's thumbnail, I mean, you've seen it. It's quite a thumbnail tonight, isn't it? It's quite the thumbnail. Quite the thumbnail. In fact, I should have posted the thumbnail. Shouldn't I? Haven't I posted it? Hit you with that doo-doo-doo-doo. Hit you with that doo-doo. There it is. Quite the thumbnail. Now listen, I didn't do, well, you can't quite see it here. I didn't do his neck like that in the thumbnail. I didn't do that. He did that himself in the show. We're going to, at some point, if you spot it, If you spot that, there's another no prize for that, which is you spotted him doing that with his neck. He did it himself on the show, so I screenshotted it and used it for the thumbnail. He'll say that I'm dehumanizing him and changing his face and making it look weird. I'm not. That's what his actual face looks like. All I did is turned up the colour a bit, brightened up the colour for a thumbnail. You brighten up the colours, don't you? Because the filter seems to... I brightened up the colour, but that's all. So I wanted to make that clear as well. I'm not dehumanizing him. The thumbnail really, his neck really. So.
Right.
Should we enjoy? Should we enjoy together? Should we enjoy together? You ready? Are you ready? A mukbang. You could do a mukbang. I've got a button for that.
I dream about food every night.
Mukbang, mukbangs, 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 mukbang, mukbangs.
I do my mukbangs.
Mukbangs.
Sorry, I really like that button.
I can say whatever the fuck I want. There's too many fucking idiots.
Right. We're away. We're away. You want him zoomed in a bit, don't you? I mean, he's not going to say anything for a few minutes, so give me a second. I'll get the other Firefox up. Hit you with that. Do-do-do-do. Hit you
Good
with...
evening.
Oh,
Can you see me?
I can, yeah.
Who's first to see me?
Who's first?
Anybody see me?
Who's first?
Live.
Who's first?
I'm first. Live. Waiting. Why are they waiting? It's live.
We're waiting for you. You're doing your show.
Hello?
It's happening now.
Anybody see me? Ah. I think I was falling asleep. I didn't press the button on the... Rumble's not quite the same as YouTube. Look at me, look, half asleep. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Yes.
Doesn't he wish he could be on YouTube?
Calm. Relaxed tonight. Relaxed.
Relax, because he's obviously been given advice behind the scenes to stay relaxed. Don't stress. Stay relaxed. I think, I'll set you low down from the high ground here. I think, because he went away for his birthday, didn't he? And he went away for about 2 or 3 days. Yeah? I think he might have gone... Sometimes we think he might have gone to his son's big party, or he might have gone to his daughter's. Not the daughter with the... Not the...
AD's sexual deviant. AD's a con man. AD's a crook. AD owes tax.
Not that daughter, you know, not the daughter with the...
AD.
But I think the more grown-up one, I think he might go there and cry like it's his mommy, and she might fulfill the role of his mommy and go, oh, I'll sort it out for you. And like she might even get a bit exasperated and cross like she's having to deal with a child. But I think she might have stepped in and said, I can't believe you've let it get into this mess. We're going to see a solicitor. It's going to cost £300 to £600 to send a simple letter. I can't believe you let it get into this mess. I think behind the scenes, he's had a bit of maternal, you know, it's my birthday, so you can't be mean to me, but I've got myself in a massive problem and you need to help me. I think he might have done that. I think he might have done that behind the scenes. So I think that's what's happened. So I think we'll see that play out a little.
I haven't been around for 6 days. I will explain everything once you're all here.
Got some explaining to do, haven't you, Alan?
To my patrons.
Can you hear him all right? Because sometimes he peaks a little bit, sometimes a little bit quiet. If you're having trouble hearing him, it's because his microphone is behind him over there, pointing in the wrong direction. We all know it. He has his microphone behind him over there, pointing in the wrong direction. So that's the reason. I could amplify him a little, but then my background music gets amplified too. So if we're all right, unless you've got problems. If you've got problems, shout me in chat. If not, we'll roll.
I know people steal my videos and use them.
Steal your videos.
I don't even bother striking them anymore.
You can't copyright strike people because you're not on YouTube.
This is a firewall, a paywall, where all these videos are private and your words are private.
Mm-hmm.
People are taking them and using them.
Well, I just found a link for this on the internet, like on Twitter. I didn't, I don't think you can accuse me of anything untoward here. Seems like public to me. It seems quite public.
To mock me on YouTube or
all you have to do is have the money.
And it's been going on for 5 years.
You'll notice today as well, he keeps zooming, and it appears to be zooming and moving. This is at Alan's end. I don't know if his camera's hunting for focus or if he's on a fucking boat. But it keeps zooming and hunting, so I apologise for that, but it's Alan's end. After 5 years of being a content creator, he still hasn't managed to work out his settings on his camera.
He's scared you. Didn't know the volume turned on the phone. Okay, right. So tonight I think I owe you some explanations on why I've been away and what's going on.
You owe him owed some explanations.
Some things I can't say because it's legal.
Legal.
Some things I can say because I'm annoyed.
And because you're an arsehole. And because... I'm going to press this button till he's ruined it.
I can say whatever the fuck I want, and you like it, or you shut the fuck up.
Alan is trying to convince his audience. He's trying to convince his ladies. He's trying to convince them that he's been away for important legal reasons, when in actual fact, everybody knows he went away for a few days for his birthday. Everyone knows it. But he seems to be caught in this weird world where he thinks they don't know it, even though he said it himself on his own channel to them. He seems to think they live in some sort of deluded netherworld where they think he's been away doing important legal things. As I predict, like I said, I think what's happened is, I think his daughter, this is just my guess, just my feeling, I think his daughter would have said, fucking hell, I'm getting you in with a solicitor, emergency appointment last minute. And he's actually sat down with one, maybe, I think. Like, the other option is that they know someone who's got a legal background and he sat down with them in their off time, you know, as a bit of a freebie. But my feeling is that it might have been that they went on the Monday as well, with his last, you know, the deadline day, and got it all sorted last minute after he confessed. You know, he's one of these, isn't he? That he's one of these, like, he'll have the gambling problem and he won't tell anyone, and then you'll only find out right at the end of the line when he spent all the money and it's, oh God, and he's like confessing right at the end. You know, got himself in a real situation. It's the last minute. And then he confesses, and you're like, for fuck's sake, if you'd said something about this earlier, we could have done something. Like, I think he's like that, but I think he has actually, you know, you'll see what he says here. Let's see it.
But where do I begin? I begin with seeking the truth with Dave. I can pronounce his name. You can't say it in chat. He had a lady on called Cindy Watts, who made some terrible accusations against Shanann Watts, which I'm not even going to repeat, right? Not even going there.
Because you're being sued for defamation.
But it made me think, why me? Why am I getting all this crap?
Because you were the main one doing the worst stuff. And because some of the stuff you said was so horrific, it offended the people who were involved in, like, Frank Rusick Jr. should have no cause to know who you are or what you're saying on the internet, and you should have no cause to sue you for defamation. But instead, you set a situation out where you spoke so regularly, readily, and horrifically about so much stuff that you couldn't even put a finger on what exactly the one thing is that you've done specifically. But it's come to this, hasn't it? So why you? Because you're the biggest arsehole, the worst one. Other people might be saying other stuff, yeah, you know, generally, but it was you that caused the most hurt, alarm, distress. It's you that they, you know, feel personally aggrieved by. So that's why, Alan, because you're the worst one. You're a bad person.
When I think of Miss Mensa and many channels that are anti-Shanann, I've never been anti-Shanann. I've always been pro finding out what happened, right? That's what I am, aren't I? I'm an investigating amateur detective.
No.
Like
No, you're not an investigative journalist or an investigating amateur detective. You're not an amateur detective. You're a grifter who jumped online because they realised that a bunch of the demographics for the people that like true crime seem to suit the same demographics as grifters like to manipulate. And you went on to do a sort of romance scam / ego boost. What you did was you watched Richard D. Hall and you thought he's good and he's made lots of money on the internet and he's done well and lots of investigation. Good, well done, Richard D. Hall. And then what you did is you saw Richard D. Hall got removed, or maybe legal. I don't know what he was. You know, Richard D. Hall moved on to his own website and you thought, I could do what Richard D. Hall does. Shouts out Big Chris. Shout out to Taz. He's been sectioned. His head went. Big ups Taz. Big ups Taz.
There's facts, there's reality, and then there's your
bullshit world.
You got that button. I don't know if that's the appropriate button, really, but yeah.
I used to hang around a bit with a Scotland Yard famous man.
You didn't used to hang around a bit with the Scotland Yard famous man. Facile world of Alan Vinnicum. I know I say tippies and stuff, but I used to hang around with the famous man. A famous man, a big man, big famous man. You didn't hang around with Colin Sutton. You paid him to do a show with you, and you might have met him in a pub. You didn't used to hang around with a big famous...
And he taught me a lot.
He taught me a lot. He didn't teach you a lot. This is not what's happened. You watched some YouTube videos. He didn't sit you down and teach you a lot. Big famous Scotland Yard man. You're misremembering, or maybe just making up a load of delusion, right? Delusion. And the truth of it is that you like rubbed shoulders with people who, as a narcissist, and this is the narcissist here, he's like, they're good, they've got status, I'll be like them, I'll give them, sucky them, sucky them, get a sippy gin button, drinky gin.
I can say whatever the fuck I want. Mukbangs.
And Alan just like, you know, he's anyone can pay Colin Sutton to turn up and do a talk. And when you did, I've seen the talk, it was awful. He didn't do much talking, you were messing about all the time, like trying to show off what a big detective you are. You've not got any, like, this is not who you are. You're not that. You're a sad failure. You're a plastic bag full of ham and dog food shaped in the face of a... whatever that is.
I thought I can use what he taught me. I can use what he taught me to share with others.
You can use the idea that people are interested in true crime on the internet and you're a bit of a grifter to manipulate you, to manipulate your audience into giving you money. That's what you thought.
And we can study.
Big ups DC Prime Time. Thanks for the $9.99 super chat. Let's give you a nice button. I haven't got many nice buttons. I try and find a nice button, but I don't have any nice buttons, do I?
And our former study group, and we study crimes, but not like somebody goes in a supermarket and shoots 10 people. No.
Not like studying crimes like an actual criminologist or someone with a degree who has any basis in background in or some sort of curriculum and step by step or anything like that. What you mean is we'll watch videos on YouTube and talk shit for hours.
Oh, crimes where there's, whoa, that doesn't seem right, or I don't quite understand what's going on there. That's
mysteries where you can never get to the end of it, so you can spin conjecture and bollocks for hours, days, weeks, months, years.
Like, isn't it? And then we get addicted to a crime,
Then you get addicted to a crime. You got addicted to the money and the views. Your big status boost. You didn't get addicted to a crime.
we did John Burnett Ramsey, like we did the McCanns, like we...
You're talking about things that went on Netflix and were big trends. People were talking about them on the internet.
did the Watts case, like we did Nicola Bulley, Colin Gousset.
So you mean the big trending cases?
Kylie Rodney. These are the ones that we do.
These are the ones that we do. What do you do with them? You talk for hours ad nauseum and get nowhere. You haven't pushed any further forward on the Madeleine McCann case. All you've done is repeat what Richard D. Hall said. You haven't discovered anything, ever. You thought the shadows were your big thing, and the shadows were discovered by a different lady called Diane. Not you, a lady called Diane. You stole that, stole someone else's discovery, and it in itself is just vague enough to be maybe something and maybe nothing. And everything else that you spun around it, the rewinding the video, the fast forwarding, the zooming in, the changing of the colours, you know, you've done nothing. All you've ever done is just rehash what everyone else has said, read the news, watch other people's videos, steal content, plagiarise, all in the name of having something to say about the trending murder case, because the demographic is the right demographic for you to latch onto and do your grifting. That's why.
Brian Laundrie. These are the ones we do. But that doesn't make us bad people.
You're bad people because you're an aggressive, abusive narcissist who uses people all the time. You're bad people because you only ever think about yourself, and you've said some really horrible, horrible things on the internet and probably done further horrible things behind the scenes. You're bad people because you were singing with kids on that karaoke app. Like it or not, you're bad people, Alan, because of your track record and history with all the other bad things you've done. Some of the stuff you said to Val and all these other people, like, you know, Val specifically on the top of my mind there again, because, you know, big shouts out, we love Val, but like a lot of the things, you know, you're being sued for defamation because you're a horrible man. It's not that we, like, there's not this specific we, you've got your spanners, and some of them are quite vile and horrible, A few of them have been trolling around the internet. You've been trolling on your fake accounts. Like, where do you want me to stop the list? When do we've got to do the big list one of these days, but you're a bad man because of a really big long list of all these bad things. And that's like real talk. Like, and the people that go along with you and give you money enable it. You take the money and gamble it away on poker. Like, having a gambling addiction where you piss all the money away, that's bad as well, isn't it? Like, this, you are a bad man, and the people that enable you are bad by proxy, and some of them, I think, behind the scenes might be sick and bad like you as well. And I don't know how far and deep the sickness goes, but we've seen some pretty sick shit on your end, so we do worry.
AD's sexual deviant, AD's a con man, AD's a crook, AD owes tax.
Oh yeah, there was the tax, wasn't there? Oh, and what about searching for child porn on the internet, Alan?
There is no child porn on the internet, I hate to warn you that. There is no child porn on the internet, I checked.
Big ups, Val. What I'd love to do is, I know you've done a big long video, yes, right, and I agree, like, basically the definitive, if, you know, someone wants to go and see all the bad things Alan's done, watch Val's video. I'd like to do a video called Angry Alan, This Was Your Life, and obviously there's going to be some big gaps, but I'd love to be able to fill in those gaps and just go from Alan was born in, and then, and I'm sure there'll be loads of bad things that we don't know about. I'd love to do, you know, a sort of, this was your life, the full, like, you know, comprehensive list of everything ever that he's done, ever as well. It might take forever, but, you know, it'd be a big long project.
Doesn't make me like this monster that I've been, well, to be honest, I've been dehumanized.
Dehumanized monster. Got it, right. Okay, just quickly though, you know, I do this quite often now, don't I? But I don't need to labour the point too much, but just quickly, I'm just going to quickly open up Sentries, and just quickly I'm going to go to that clip of Alan doing this, because, like, the kid waves at him, Alan does the little smile, and he does the singing with the kids. Don't tell me about dehumanised and the bad things that have happened to you, Alan. Don't tell me about not being a monster. Come on, get real.
I don't think I am a bad person at all.
No, of course, that's one of the problems.
Because you know why?
Because you're a selfish arsehole who doesn't care about anybody but yourself.
I've never made a single hate video about it.
Oh my God. Let him cook.
Because you know why? I've never made a single hate video about anyone. And you might say, well, you have talked about things only with the right to reply. If somebody calls me a sexual deviant, I have a right to reply. If someone calls me this, that, and the other, I have a right to reply. And I will reply. I will stand up for myself. But I don't do drama. I don't make videos against other people.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for the super chat. Alan's the biggest snake we've come across. Agreed. I can do a little heart to that. Look. Agreed. Alan doesn't do videos about other people. Alan doesn't do drama, doesn't do hate videos. If anything, he's only ever retaliated when someone's done something about him. So somehow, Alan gathered a group of people who were doing negative videos about him out of nowhere, because he's a good guy. What we've learned at the start of this is Alan's a lovely man, a lovely guy, a good guy, and he's never done anything wrong. Alan's never done anything wrong. And everyone else started doing horrible things to him. So if anything, he was forced to defend himself. I think I've got that right now. I mean, how on earth can he be attempting to recontextualise that like this? At this point, I'm actually at the point now where I believe that Alan is fully nuts and fully delusional. Just realised this has got rain sounds on it. I don't want rain sounds on my relaxing music. Thank you. I just want relaxing music. Thank you. I don't want jazzy music, I just want relaxing music. It's like the weirdest. I don't think he's trying to, like, he might be trying to say that to the audience, but they've all been there, they all know. We're all here, we all know. You know, I'm not even critiquing it and saying it's not true. We know it's not true. Like, everyone knows it in their bones, except Alan. Like, do you think it's part of his own, like, psychosis here that he's, like, just trying to convince himself? It's insanity.
Never have done.
All right. The background music. Come on, let's have a tried and tested playlist. Let's have a tried and tested quiet playlist. Thank you.
Now, you might notice a sudden disappearance of all the truth channels and hate channels.
Because you're off YouTube, so they don't have to make videos about you anymore because you've been banned off YouTube.
This isn't a coincidence.
No, it's because you got banned off YouTube.
The person that runs them in America,
The person that runs them. One person runs the hate channels.
let's say the family that runs them,
The family. I wonder what family that could be.
let's tell them all to shut up. Shut up. There's a court case going on.
Now, after all this time, they've decided to change tack. And the head of the gang stalkers has decided, oh, let's pull back on the gang stalking because we're doing the court case.
And the main ones have disappeared, as you know. They've just why are they? There's 50 channels. They're all silent. Why? Because they're told to. Because they want to win a court case and they want to settle out of court of £100,000 against me. They don't want to go to court.
100 grand now. 100 grand now.
I tell you that quite honestly. They don't want to go to court.
Nobody wants to go to court. They want you to shut up. They want you to admit defeat. They want you to settle out of court and pay the costs. They want you to, like, no one wants to go to court. No one, like, they wanted you to just, like, they gave you every opportunity to not have to go this far and take it down this road. But you won't do,
I don't think they can because they're out their jurisdictions. He's American. So I feel that because I'm standing up like I do and saying, no, I'm not going to give in. I don't agree that I did all these terrible things.
Right, except you didn't stand up and do that, did you? Like, you faffed around and hid and cowered, head in the sand, last minute. You've told us your whole principle of what you're going to do with this court case is to mess them about, to try and buy time as much as possible, to try and cost them as much money as possible. So you didn't stand up to anything. Oh, here, me and my legal team are going to stand up to this. No, you coward. You're a coward, and you cowered away, didn't you? Cowed away.
I don't know what I've done, but I've never spoken to the claimant or done any messages to him or nothing at all.
This is where I think he might have actually received some legal advice since, because now he's saying this. That's like something the lawyer would tell you to say. It's a bit late now, Alan, but of course you have. You hashtagged him in it. No, of course you have. Like, yes, of course you have. It's funny because I think recently, as we know, you can check it on the channel. Big ups, Big Chris. Thank you very much for the super chat. You can have a button.
AD's sexual deviant. AD's a con man. AD's a crook. AD owes tax.
Wait. All right, sorry, the dog just came in and looked like he was going to do a poo in the room. Where was I?
Any messages to him or nothing at all.
Oh, we hadn't sent any messages to Frankie Rusek. Big ups, Red Fan. Thank you for the gifted memberships. I think you've already had enough buttons now, haven't you, everyone?
Torture the battery boy.
Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. And anyone who's just been gifted a membership, make sure to check out the members' content on this channel, which is building and growing and will continue to increase in number as we go. So it's worth being a member. And I thank you very much for renewing memberships when you're offline and stuff. Thank you. That membership, that ongoing support, the idea that someone would choose to renew, that's like, for me, in the bank. That's safe. That's the future. You know, so thank you. Thank you. Of course, recently, Alan came after me with the police, didn't he? And I was able to give a very reasonable, and the police thought it was all a load of nonsense. Remember, we'd done the episode, but very reasonable. I'm not intending to cause Alan Vinicum alarm nor distress. And this goes for this episode today as well. I'm making fair comment on YouTube. Alan doesn't have to watch this. I don't tag him in this. I don't send it to him. I don't send him an email. I don't put a comment on his channel. I don't call him up. I don't go to his house. I am not creating a campaign of harassment against Alan Vinicum. I'm one independent person making video reactions to the content he does on the internet. fair comment. And it sounds like Alan heard me say all that and thought, well, that would have been good for my defence. And so now he's on like this tip of, I've never talked to Frankie Rusek, which legally, like, I'm going to say this outright, and I don't know what Frankie's case is because I'm not Cohen solicitors, am I? So I don't really know what's in their case. But legally, I would think, because I wasn't there 5 years ago either, I don't know what Alan actually said, and I don't know which clips they've gone for. But I understand he's done a lot of bad stuff, don't I? So, remember this particular aspect of it is a bit before my time, not really my fight with Alan. I was angry because he stole my content and plagiarised me, and then said,
good luck with your channel, son.
And so I, thought, okay, we'll see,
good luck with your channel, son.
We'll see where that goes. So I don't know, but if their case is tight, Alan goes down, defamation, if their case is tight. But if not, he can literally say either, like, there are defences against defamation. I think it's a bit late now for Alan to learn anything of this. So defences against defamation, because he's had to file his defence now, haven't he? Big ups, Amber. Thank you for the renewing for the membership. Thank you, Amber. Yeah, I'm running out of buttons.
I've got a big armchair.
So defences include truth, honest opinion, publication on a matter of public interest, and privilege. So if it's the truth, it's not defamation. If I say Alan looked really noncy singing with kids, then that's the truth. Alan looked really noncy singing with kids. So it's not defamation. Honest opinion, if I were to say, I think Alan's a pedo, like, I'm not saying that. The police asked me that as a question, and my solicitor said, we're not here to discuss whether Alan Vinnicom's a paedophile. But, is it an honest opinion based on his behaviour? The rumours of him locking those girls in that pub and all that, I don't know. That can be debated, can't it? But that was an example I was giving. Honest opinion can vary, and that's what the judge has to decide. Is it reasonable for someone to agree that that's an honest opinion to have made? Publication on a matter of public interest is that, it's important for the public to learn this. I don't care who I hurt. And privilege is irrelevant here, qualified or absolute. So really, like, Alan's defence needs to be the truth or honest opinion. And I wasn't going to sort of talk too much about this beforehand, but I think he should be, like most YouTubers, should be able to argue that honest opinion, you know what I mean? And the truth, especially if you're doing a well-researched crime show, those sort of things. Maybe that's your big ups, Joe Boy. How you doing?
I've got a big armchair.
In the bath.
I've got a big armchair. Oh yeah. I've got a dog. I've got a pedigree dog. As much chicken as I can eat.
And big ups, John. Welcome to regular.
The blonde one, the dark one, and the butch one.
So
I don't remember the names.
So I think Alan could have a reasonable defence, to be honest, if he could put it together and argue it in court. But the fact that he was going to go defending him, what was he, litigant in person, that's an idiocy that I've never heard of. And I feel like, depending on what he said, I don't know what was said and what's in the court case, but could go any way, could go either way. But I would hope that, certainly with what I'm doing with him and stuff like that, Alan can come after me, he can get all the solicitors he wants. I'm going to win, because truth, reasonable opinion, I'm going to win. I don't know how he sits against Frankie Rusek, so I'm unaware. But yeah, big up Supreme Beds. Get your beds from Supreme Beds. Better than Torchy the Battery Boy.
Torchy the Battery Boy.
Better than having a torch strapped to your head.
Torchy the Battery Boy.
I've had bomb threats, I've had death threats on my family. My daughter's had songs written about her. It's like, you people here have been attacked in your own homes.
Okay, the people that are watching him have not been attacked in their own homes, and I don't think he's had bomb threats. From what I know, from what I can remember, I can't remember him having a bomb threat. And people have not been attacked. Okay, his daughter did have a song written about her. I will agree with that.
On your own screens, they're coming into your Facebook.
They're not coming into your Facebook.
Your messages.
Or sending you messages.
It's organised, right? And it's
not. What do you mean? It's organised. Like, it's not a conspiracy to harass Alan's fans. People just don't like you, and there's loads of them.
To get rid of me.
To get rid of you.
But you have to ask yourself, why me?
Why you? Well, from my opinion, Alan, you were plagiarising, you're a hateful, horrible person, you were rude and abusive, and since going on, you've revealed yourself to be homophobic, like right-wing nationalistic, racist, disability slurs, misogynistic, sexist. Like, again, do you want me to do the full list? Like, and for those things, I think that's the reason he got binned off YouTube. Is because if you're going to do hate slurs on YouTube, you're going to get deleted off YouTube. The end.
Well, I'm the money pit. I'm the one that gets everybody clicks, right? So all those hate channels,
Alan, you're a fucking... How are you the one that gets everyone clicks? You're on Rumble chatting to 30 people. Like, you're not a click generator. You're not a money pit. The only reason you had notoriety on YouTube was because you talked about a trending topic during lockdown. Like, if there wasn't a lockdown and there wasn't a trending murder, you wouldn't be interesting to people. It's not you, it was the subject and the fact that people were forced to stay in and look at YouTube. You were the luckiest YouTuber alive for a certain amount of time, and you managed to ruin that as well. Like, it's not because you're special or anything. If anything, you're the worst arsehole, the most special example of an arsehole, so that's why people like watching you get torn down a peg or two. But that's the best you're going to get.
They can't survive anymore because I'm not on YouTube. So they've got nothing.
Right, I would just, like, for example, Val has a full-time job cutting hair, like, running her own business. Like, I do other things on YouTube. You were a side project. There are other channels that were more devoted to you that can also do absolutely whatever they want with their time and lives. So there are a few that have sort of piped down, I guess. But I don't see it as, like, I don't understand how this is like a big win for Alan. Big ups, Big Chris. Yeah, I need the relaxing music while listening to the full. Exactly. Thank you for the super chat. Exactly. That's what this is for. If I don't have this, it's insufferable at times, isn't it? The madness here, the delusion.
They battled to get rid of me. Once I've gone, they don't have anything. I was them. I was their content.
And ironic that, isn't it, Alan? Because all of your content was stolen from other people as well.
There was a fund made to get me.
The fund wasn't to get you. It wasn't a hitman fund.
And it reached £55,000. £55,000 to spend on lawyers to bring me down. But it wasn't to bring me down. It was to make me pay money. Because they...
You just said it was to bring you down. It was to get you. But now it's not to get you and to bring you down. It's because they want money. And they thought, in their infinite wisdom, Frankie Rusick somehow, in his infinite wisdom, thought, looking at this situation that's going on in front of me, Netflix are making offers. Obviously the newspapers are making offers. But Alan Vinicum's been talking on YouTube and he might have made a few £1,000s. So if I sue him, which is going to cost me thousands to do, then there's quite a good chance at the end of it I could become rich off suing Alan. Like, it doesn't seem to make sense, does it, Alan? I think Frankie Rusick would have had 10 times many better offers than suing Alan Vinicum in order to make money, wouldn't he? Like, he'd be better off working at fucking Burger King, as would you, if he was just interested in making money. You made it personal. You did the horrible things talking about his family and his, the tragic death of his sister, and now he's made it's personal. Deal with it.
Thought they were informed by stupid trolls that I was earning a fortune. Oh, he's sold so many books. Didn't make a penny from the book.
Didn't make a penny from the books, did you not? No one really knows, do they? Unless you get forensically audited and accounted what money you did and didn't make. But I know the book was a big disaster and you thought it was going to be like a springboard to your success, but...
Oh, he's made so much money on... No, not at all.
Alan, you did make a lot of money and then you spent it all on poker. Like, what do you think fueled the Malta trips? Like, you're a liar. It's obvious you're a liar. You had the super chats, they were on the screen. Nancy gives you over £20,000. I'm just going to quickly do this now for everyone that hasn't seen me do this. Calculator. We like the old Google calculator, don't we? It's a good calculator. And if you quickly just say, Nancy, in chat, give me a rough value of how much Nancy gives him a week. On any given episode, she can give him $200, can't she? And let's say she does that twice a week. Like, there's $400 a week, yeah? Like, anyone else in chat want any other figure, you can suggest it. We've done this before. $400 a week times 50 weeks, because 2 weeks of the year she's on holiday doing a cruise, is $20,000. That's $20,000 at a conservative estimate of 2 donations a week from Nancy. Yeah? 2 donations a week from Nancy. And we all know it. We've seen them, the red donations. He's always there. Oh, Nancy, you fucking give me money again. You add on whoever gives him behind the scenes the PayPals. Yeah. So let's say it was 200 off Nancy twice a week. But you also get, say, $100 off Melissa Marvelous. Add that in. Let's just throw that in, $100 off Melissa Marvelous this week. And what about if you get a few other super chats here and there that you beg for that come directly through Patreon, whatever, you know. So you've got £500 there times 50 weeks in a year. That's 25 grand. 25,000 a year. But you've got 300 on your patron, £300. You've got 30 patrons at about £10 each. Conservatives here, conservative estimates. That goes out 12 a year, doesn't it? So that's 3.5 grand on top. So you're clocking around 30 grand a year, Alan, just through Nancy and the other idiots that give you money. And like, you're crying this. Big ups John Main. Thank you very much for the money's coming into me. Thank you. That's how I get my monies. £5 super chat. You're my Nancy.
Torchy. Torchy, that. I remember Torchy when I was a little tiny boy. I used to love Torchy. Torchy the battery boy.
But just Nancy, right? I want to ask you this as well in chat. You know, people have different ideas about Nancy. People think she's real. I'm not sure. She might be money laundering front. I don't know. But who has got like 20 grand? 1, 2, 3. Who's got 20 grand to give someone a year? To give Alan a year? Like, it's like she's employing him. Like, how can he be crying? And that's just Nancy. Like, he's been bigger bucks than that. Loads more people on his patrons, loads more views, the YouTube money. We didn't factor in the YouTube money, the AdSense money that he used to get. Like, he's had the money. Don't get it wrong. He's had the money, and he's still sat there with the same laptop, with the same microphone problem, with the... We watched an old video of his the other day. That was a new microphone years ago. Sat in the same crappy green screen. Can't work his internet properly. You know, nothing has improved. The money's gone down the toilet. All the money's gone. You've been demoted, Red fans Nancy. I just meant, you know, people that give me money in general, because I was saying this to my mom today. I was saying, Alan gets Nancy, give him 1,000, you know, like a big wallop. But I'm more grateful because I get lots of people give me smaller monies, like, but there's lots more of them, so it's better that way. You are a bigger contributor, Red fan, and you can be Nancy.
I've got a big armchair.
Yeah. But like, when you add up what Alan's had over the years, it's been an incredible amount of money, because he's been doing, that was Nancy over 1 year, but Nancy's been there all the time. So let's say 4 years of Nancy, he's had 100 grand just off Nancy, right? How can one man take 100 grand in a 4-year period and be there with nothing? If anything needs to be learned from this, especially the people that support him, you know, and some of them might be watching this. If you're watching this and you think I'm bullying him, he's had over 100 grand off Nancy in the last 4 years. He doesn't need your money. He doesn't need your help. If you give it him, you're enabling his gambling addiction, because that money goes on Sky Poker, Sky Bet Poker. And we've looked at it. If you haven't seen this as well, I'm shouting myself out again, but go Battery Exhausted, go videos. And one of these is about Angry Alan's gambling addiction, isn't it? Oh, it was in the middle of one of the episodes, wasn't it? Gambling addiction exposed. Look, go and watch that episode, Gambling Addiction Exposed. Like, we found his poker stats on the internet from all the different apps he was using, and the money was pouring down the toilet. You know, if you're going to have a gambling addiction, you're going to end up losing all the money. Yeah, that's what he's done. And he might have bought a house that he signed over to his daughter or something. He might pretend he pays rent and actually he pays it to his daughter. I don't know if that's the fact. I'm having a guess at how he might fiddle the books. But realistically, he's poured everything away into the toilet. And at the moment, he's living beyond his means, as he will come to tell us. Oh yeah, don't even, plus secret PayPal, Patreon feed, yeah. Big ups, thank you Big Chris, personality deserves tippies, thank you. I have a personality, doesn't mean I am one.
AD's sexual deviant, AD's a con man, AD's a crook, AD owes tax.
Oh, there's loads more financial ins for Alan as well, aren't there? Like ins, like, you know, little schemes he's been running. Don't even talk about the trip advisors for the old Vinnie's bar, do you know what I mean? Don't even talk about white lines, something about a phenomenon.
But the other side believed it. And they raised the money and they spent it on a solicitor.
Okay.
And now the fund's floundered. No one's giving them anything anymore.
Well, the fund has, I'd say floundered. It's raised an awful large amount of money. And the way he talks about it today makes me think I should just throw in $1,000. Like, you know, it makes me want to give him more money. And I think there needs to be a more sort of open discussion about money with the court case, so we all know where we stand, because it's this ongoing if you need more, if you need more, if you need more, and what's going to happen and what's going to happen and what's going to happen. I don't know enough. I'm late to the table. People have been arguing about it for years apparently, but if it's all legit and above board and there's a hat going around and they say put money in this hat and it will lead to Alan Vinnicum's ruin, I'll put the money in the hat. Do you know what I mean? I just need some more certainties and knowledge about what's going on really. But Alan's going to try and spin it that it's all pie in the sky and it's a waste and it's never going to happen. Well, they've already raised an awful lot of money and it's already gone quite far, Alan.
Because every time they reach a target, it's like Stretch Armstrong, the toy, right? Oh, well done. We're just stretched out a bit more. Oh, well done. Can we just have another £35,000 to get him? We haven't even been to court. How much money does it cost to take an old man to court?
He's laughing about that because, as he comes to reveal later in this episode, he intends to make it cost more by messing them around.
Meanwhile, my fund is nil.
Your fund has been nil because you spent all your money, right? You could have done a crowdfund. You did do a crowdfund. You took the money and spent it anyway. You took a crowdfund for your fucking documentary that you spent. Alan, you've been to Multiplaying Poker twice last year.
Perhaps I should have done a fund the same day when they were doing their fundraising weekend. Maybe I should have done the same and I'd have had money to fight this.
Pity party begging.
But I don't see a court case. I don't.
Not with your fantastic 3D vision. I'd have thought you could have seen it on all the angles with the cocks coming in at all angles. Oh, couldn't you with your special 3D vision?
Listen, I'll be honest with you. I don't have any money. I don't have a house. I don't have savings.
Right.
What are they doing it for?
So, again, reiterating this and labouring this point, you don't have any money, you don't have a house, you don't have savings, which makes me think you've got a house and savings squirreled away in some other name or some scheme. And you've got your pension. They can't touch that, but you get your pension anyway, Alan. So you get that on top, remember. You've always got your pension coming in. And if you haven't got any money and they're still doing it, how can you argue they're doing it for money? Like, your own statements invalidate. You're arguing both sides of the toss here. It doesn't make sense.
If they're doing it for money, then all they're going to do is lose money, right? That's how it works in England, right?
Again, this is an appeal to try and scare off Frankie Rusick and also to scare off people from investing in the crowdfund.
They might win a case against me for £100,000. They might, I doubt it. If they did, how are they going to get the money out of me? One, he lives in America and we haven't got a contract between the two countries. So they can't get the money off me. They have to take me to court again, which is another stretch, another £30,000 to take me to court to get money out of me. But I don't have any money. It's the most ludicrous, frivolous, stupidest lawsuit.
Now, I used the word frivolous there. Frivolous is like a legal term, a frivolous lawsuit. You know, it's more of a legal term. Not an official one, but, you know, I think, and when he said about there's no contract between the two countries, I don't know if he's talked about that before, but it feels like somebody with more knowledge has said some things to him which has made him feel a bit more confident, or at least, like I said, I believe that he's gone to his family. It's my birthday, we're all having fun, and he's done the big crying Alan, oh, this court case, and on Monday I lose, and it's all going to be a problem, oh no, and I can't even afford a lawyer. And then they've said, for fuck's sake, Dad, I can't believe you've let it get to this, and they've dragged him in front of a solicitor and they've done a letter, and he's like, you know, he's managed to manipulate the whole situation to getting a free solicitor paid for by his kids right at the last minute, like a proper knobhead, you know, proper last minute, causing everyone loads of problems stuff. Alan's the person that on the day you go to fly to the airport, you know, when you're all getting in the car, he goes, oh, but my passport's not in date. Like proper knobhead stuff.
I've ever seen. On top of that, right, when you're going to take somebody to court, you have to not make videos about them hating them. And
this I don't think is what a solicitor said. When you take people to court, you have to not make videos about hating them. What he means is that if you're doing, like me and Alan, when he sent the police to me, they were basically saying that this is a YouTube back and forth. It's not a criminal thing. Like, he's making videos about you, so you can make videos about him. It's fine. And what he means is that if that's the premise, then you can't suddenly start jumping in. Right, defamation now. You can't just jump in and do that, unless he's gone way over the line. Which he has for me, and I've got the recordings to prove it. But you can't, like, it gets more into this tittle tattle back and forth, legally. But that's not what's happened here, Alan. That's not what's happened. Just because Frankie Rousset was angry enough once to call you a bad name doesn't mean he's been defaming you. It doesn't mean that at all.
Over 1,000 screenshots of that family hating on me on 50 channels. I have the man himself calling me Vinny Scum and all the names under the sun. He's going to clap me in irons 1,000 times. No judge is going to look at that and say, yep, Mr. Vinicum, you have slandered this man and you did deaf around him and he can't work because of you. Who's going to believe that when I show him all the screenshots? It doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense.
So you're not going to show anyone all these screenshots. That's not part of this. Your defense against your defamation is not, someone said bad words to me. We've been through this before.
I'm still not going to criticize him.
You're not going to criticize him because you're absolutely afraid, because you're right on the rack for defamation.
Still not going to, because I'm not going to go that low.
It's not because you won't go that low. You're the lowest person there is. No one can go lower than Vinny Scum. No one can go lower than Anna Vinegar. No one can go lower than Kiddie Cum. Like, Mother licks Cun off daughter's face on your Google search. Yeah? Singing with children on Smule. Like, there is a little bit lower than that people can go. Trading black market images off hard drives that are well out of order and get you put in prison because they're bad. Yeah? That sort of stuff. But, I don't put that past you, to be honest.
80s sexual deviant. There is no child porn on the internet. I hate to warn you that. There is no child porn on the internet. I checked.
So come on. You're too noble to say something bad about this man who's suing you for defamation because of all the things you've said.
I'm just saying, not only is it impossible to win because I've got all the evidence of what they've done to me.
So it's impossible for them to win because you've got a big load of evidence of them saying bad things to you, which is a nonsense. But why do you have to have all these episodes about it then? Why don't you just sit back on that? Why do you even talk about this? Because you don't even need legal representation. You've got a folder full of clips. You're fine.
I can't win any money because I don't have any.
And that's all right as well then. So shut up. Plead guilty. Why are you putting up a defence? If there's I've got no money, you can't have any. Therefore, I'll just plead guilty and you can throw the book at me. None of what you're saying makes sense, Alan. It's obviously bollocks. You're the worst liar in the world. You are the worst person in the world, really, aren't you? I suppose that's really hyperbole, isn't it? Like, he's not the worst person in the world. It's giving him a lot of credit, calling him a person.
I don't understand it, other than, like, just for the pure hate of it. But I'm one YouTuber.
It's not the hate of it, is it, Alan? You've got that ass backwards. You did the hate, and then they don't like you for the things you've done.
Out of 1,000 that do the What's Case. There's people on the What's Case now getting 1 million views and stuff. Not going after them, are they?
No, they're not, Alan.
The channel that's published Cindy's accusations, not going after them. No, going after me. I'm not even on freaking YouTube.
Eggy.
There's one tuber that did a 5-hour show on me yesterday. I'm 69. I'm not on YouTube, yet he can find 5 hours to talk about me.
Oh, it's not I could find 5 hours to talk about you, you knobhead. What it is we did a show that lasted 5 hours, during which we watched some of your content and reacted to it, and I found things to talk about. Like, I don't just say, right, today we're talking about Alan, let's go, and I just talk for 5 hours. Like, there is some sort of setup and, there is, Don't worry. Don't worry.
Because it thinks it.
Alan got his chapstick, you're right. Or it might not have been his chapstick. That could have been a trophy that he stole off a child.
I'm not on YouTube. Yeah, you can find 5 hours to talk about it. Because it thinks it earns him money. It doesn't earn him money. It makes him look stupid.
AD, 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 AD.
Well,
that was just a mini bit of tech for the old Super Chuff there. He didn't say my name. He didn't call me Batchy Boy. He's still too cowardly for that. Just a little bit of mini tech for me there, but you know, he just wants us to know that he's watching. He's not supposed to be watching, and this isn't intended to cause him alarm or distress, and he couldn't really claim it because he's not supposed to be watching because he's banned off YouTube, but you know, come on. I know, Alan. I know. And later on, Alan, when I offer you the opportunity to work underneath me on these streams, not these streams on YouTube, but we'll try and find a way. You know, we talked, how can Alan find a way of making more money? I've got an idea, but you know, you're going to have to just accept it.
What do we do next is the thing. The whole point is I was here to get NK brought to book, to be questioned.
That's what you were doing. You were on the internet to try and get Nicole Kessinger. That's what you were doing. You were on the internet because you wanted Nicole Kessinger to be brought to go. It's not that there are other people that gave you money that wanted that, and you just thought, right, I'll fly that flag then. Like, you'd have no real, like, let's be real about this. You have no real cause or concern for whether Nicole Kessinger is or isn't in jail or anything. You just don't care about that, really. When you were banned off YouTube, you went on Rumble and you were like, right, it's all about money. I don't give a fuck about Chris Watts or nothing. All I care about is money. I can't make money. I've got no money. Like, we all know, Alan. We all know. You couldn't give 2 fucks, really. All I'm doing is Nicole Kessinger.
That was the Watts case. But I don't just do the Watts case. They, in their mind, think I only do the Watts case.
Because you spent hours and hours of weeks and weeks and months of years and years. And up to this present day, you were literally playing the full body cam footage of the search of the house, like on your Rumble. Like, you have not stopped talking about it. It's been a constant, ever-present feature of your content. It's not the only thing you did. I didn't just eat chips all day, every day. I also had a burger occasionally. Like, you eat a fucking lot of the chips, though, yeah? Chips are the main thing, yeah? Like, God, get real.
I do 100 cases.
I do 100 cases. You might have done 100 murders pushing people in the Bristol Pusher, but you've not done 100. You might have done 100 cases of... You've been through 100 cases of beer. You haven't fucking done 100 cases of...
How much money did you make from each Watts video? I haven't got a clue.
Well, why not? You should have had it all itemised. You should have written it down for the tax purposes.
It's raining again. I couldn't be happier.
The 1 cent tippies. Super Chuffer owes 3 hugs.
Thank you very much.
I got a big armchair. Oh yeah, I got a dog.
Thank you. Alan could literally have gone on his YouTube stats and printed out how much each video made him about the Watts case. I obviously can't do that now because he's banned off YouTube, but like, I'm pretty sure he knew overall how much his endeavours managed to make him.
There's one thing they mentioned in their evidence against me 5 times, right? And this just make you laugh, right? Their biggest piece of evidence, and my people that are in my chat, I don't
know if this is their biggest piece of evidence because we're listening to Alan now, but
people in my inner circle that have seen the accusations, right? 5 times they accuse me of using, wait for it, get ready for this. The main thing, right? Wait for this. The main things which they said 5 times, I've used hashtags Rusek. Yep. That's what I've done. That's the things mentioned 5 times in their evidence against me. He hashtagged the Ruseks.
So why are you admitting that now? Because you're basically saying that you have done it, yeah? So you're admitting guilt on that aspect. Whether it turns out to be part of the defamation case that sends you down or not, you're admitting you did it. Like, that's the first point. Like, as part of your defence, to admit you did it is a chess move. isn't it? It's quite an interesting chess move. And the hashtagging aspect of it, Alan, means that repeatedly doing it, hashtagging someone's private, like, this isn't hashtagging, like, you know, if we do Armchair Detective, like, it's all right that I mean, I don't even hashtag you, but it's all right that I mention the words Armchair Detective, you know, that's you online reacting to your videos and stuff, and, like, you're an online person and all that, but Ruseks are not, like, she's, in terms of the Netflix and the case and all that, it's Chris Watts' case, it's Shanann Watts, like, they're another sort of group of people that are slightly separate from the actual direct. So hashtagging, I think this is actually going to be the reason, like, the reason they've done it, the reason that Cohen Davis has brought this up is to say to the judge, Mr. Vinicum intended these messages to be seen by these people because he's hashtagged their private surname. Like, it's not the Rusek case, is it? The Chris Watts case. She changed her name. She got married. Watts. Like, most, when you first know about the case, I didn't even know the word. I didn't know who Ruseks were. I didn't know it was. I didn't. Like, so you're saying that their piece of what I believe Cohen Davis has done as well is, rather than send a million pieces of video to the judge, they've said, right, this is the piece of evidence that links this, the hashtags, and the judge will go, right, yeah, hashtags. They all say this. Yeah, okay, tick. Right, next, this is what he said in the videos, and the judge will go, right, he said that, okay, and in these videos with the hashtags, right, tick. Like, it's an important piece of evidence, isn't it, to prove that your intent was to harass the Ruseks, and I think it's going to go against you, that, Alan.
My God. Since when has it been a civil criminal case to hashtag a Netflix movie?
It's not a criminal case to hashtag a Netflix movie, is it? What a strange straw man argument.
And that's just one small example of the ridiculousness, small-minded, terribly concocted evidence against the Armchair Detective. You should see my evidence.
I should see your evidence of what? Of you defaming Frankie. You're defending yourself against defamation, so your evidence needs to be that it's the truth, or it's reasonable for someone to have believed it. You know, these things. You can't. Your evidence can't be Frankie Rusek said I was bad. Are we still on this? Oh yeah, he's trying to manipulate. All right, Jana. Yeah, Jana. I don't know how to pronounce that, whether it's Jana or Jana. I believe absolutely he does this because this is on his Patreon. He works the people he's trying to grift hard. Like, he's manipulating their minds 100%. Yeah, that's what this is about. But it's also about his own self-manipulation, his own self-beliefs. You know, what he has to look in the mirror and see. And I said it earlier, I think he actually must, like, he can't honestly have said some of the things he said earlier and just think normal people would assume he's, like, he must be deluded. Like, he must be deluded. Like, proper, like, loopy, like, missing something in the head.
But the point is, I have been silenced.
Oh my God.
Haven't I? Because I'm not on YouTube.
Right, yeah, because you did that yourself.
So they stopped me earning money.
We stopped you earning money.
But it's not a fair fight, is it? Because they've got £55,000 and they're public figures, and they can get an army of people to attack me.
No, the Ruseks are not public figures, I don't think, necessarily. Even if you've done an interview or two, being related to the victims of a murder is different from pursuing a career in public life. Like, you're a public figure if you opt in.
Johnny Cowboy sent tippies.
Thank you very much.
Super Chuffer owes 10 hugs.
Thank you very much. That's quite generous of you. Thank you.
We're clothes from IKEA.
I'll be able to get myself a nice IKEA cape.
We're clothes from IKEA.
Thank you.
I know it's childish.
And thank you, Big Chris, as well. Really good detective that gets investigated. He's a proper detective, this one.
AD's sexual deviant. AD's a con man. AD's a crook. AD owes tax.
And they got £55,000 lodged with a solicitor who says he's now spent £100,000 of his time on me. £100,000 on his time. And it hasn't even gone to court. And the best thing they can come up with, you use hashtags.
You're not getting eggy again, are you, Alan?
Oh my God, I'm sorry, Judge. I did use hashtags.
What happened then was the software he's got that tries to cancel out background noise, read his shouting as background noise because he's got the microphone pointing out there, and it's tried to mute his volume.
I totally agree. And do you know what?
Speak up,
Tell
Alan.
the truth, there's no case. Yeah, I did use hashtags.
There you go. Yeah, I did use hashtags. So you're guilty then, yeah?
Dear oh dear. And I did speak about Shanann Watts, but she's dead, and you can't have a case against a dead person.
Very, very nice for you to say it like that, Alan. Shows a real sense of compassion and class at this stage in the game to point out to everyone that Shanann is dead.
Yeah, I did use hashtags. Dear oh dear. And I did speak about Shanann Watts, but she's dead, and you can't have a case against a dead person. So what else have I done?
And this is really interesting to me, is that I don't know what the situation is, but if you can't do defamation because so and so's dead, then surely everything he said bad about Shanann can't be taken to court, but is fueling the anger that Frankie has. You know, everything that Alan said bad about Shanann, whilst we can't do you for that. Like Al Capone got done for tax evasion, didn't he? He did a lot of other bad stuff. But, you know, as long as he's getting done, maybe. Maybe there's an element of that.
I've had the right to reply to the terrible names that he's called me, which I deserve the right to reply to.
So you think that what happened is that Frankie Rusick came out in public and defamed you, and you had the right to reply to that, and then that's that. It's strange that, because you're just some nobody, and you'd think that Frankie Rusick wouldn't want to come and defame some random nobody. But no, that's the way it works in Alan's mind.
And if you want to record this for the case, you're welcome. I have nothing to say about him. He's had a lot to say about me.
Ridiculous.
I'm not interested in the Watts case. I'm not interested in the family. I'm interested in NK. Rourke. NK. Rourke. That's my thing.
That's all you've been. That's all. NK Rourke. Got it. Okay. Except you did do a lot of content about all sorts of other things, and you definitely did videos about the Rusicks. So, no, it seems a bit like you're trying to lie.
I can't help it if Shanann and Chris belong to a family that's got other people in it. I'm not interested in them. I'm interested in exposing Rourke for going to court and saying I saw the family carried out like the trash deceased when I proved those girls were alive. And that's why Rourke is so keen.
He's laughing then. Do you notice this? This is Alan's duper's delight. He knows he's in the middle of just telling a flagrant lie. So,
and that's why Rourke is so keen to get rid of me and now others. Because he's well out of order using podcasts to make money about the Kate Watts case. He's a bloody DA, for God's sake. And as for NK, I've covered for her. I am the new NK. I'm hated more than she is.
Better get your brown bikini out then.
By the family. Totally more hated than NK, and distinctly more hated than Chris Watts by Shanann's family.
Alan Vinicum is more hated by Shanann's family than the man who murdered her. I mean, like I say, are we literally talking about a level of delusion that I have yet to fully comprehend? Is the inside of his head just plastered with photographs of himself, like that strange man in Alan Partridge? When Alan Partridge goes around that man's house and he has to have that drink of tea out of the aerolator.
Good luck with your channel, son.
Like, what's going on here? I feel like sometimes Alan says things and like it kind of like because your brain's a bit like a computer, isn't it? And then like someone like Alan will say something like that, and my like error does not compute, and like, you know, my lines of syntax are at like syntax error. I'm like, what? I need to reset now. What did he say then? He said that he was more hated by the family of Shanann Watts than the man that murdered her.
by the family. Totally more hated than NK, and distinctly more hated than Chris Watts by Shanann's family. Why?
What? Not why. What? Not why, Alan. What?
NK, and distinctly more hated than Chris Watts by Shanann's
family. Pig up was Pig Chris. Yeah, thank you. Those £2 will go into the Chocolate Alpro fund because I'm on the Robinson squash tonight. I went to go and grab an Alpro on the back storage out where I keep them out the back. There was no Alpro. I was like, I'm on the squash. Big up, Big Chris. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm running out of buttons. I need more buttons. There's one nice button that I've got that I'm saving. What other buttons have I got? I've got new people buttons here. Is there a button I haven't pressed? I haven't pressed this one yet.
Why?
Why? Not why, Alan, but what the fuck are you saying?
Because I got too close to the truth.
Oh, the man that got too close to the truth. The man that flew too close to the sun. The man that got too close to the truth. Alan spoke the truth on the internet, and the truth was out there, and then everything had to be shut down. Alan had to be shut down. So what they had to do was, over 5 years, create a 5-year campaign to shut him down. They didn't act fast, did they? D.A. Rourke and Nicole Kessinger and the Illuminati. They didn't act fast. But eventually, they managed to enlist Super Chuffer, who'd been busily, merrily doing his own fucking thing until Alan stole his content and called him son, right? But then that happened, which was their plan, really. That was D.A. Rourke's plan, to get Alan to steal my content so that I had to be alerted by other people. You know, this man's using your content on his channel. And I was like, what? Oh. And then, like, you know, so because of that, right, D.A. Rourke arranged for that. And then D.A. Rourke arranged for Alan to use homophobic slurs, racial slurs, bigotry, misogyny, sexism, anti-disability remarks. Like, D.A. Rourke did that, and then Alan got taken off the internet because D.A. Rourke turned Alan into a homophobe.
I say, yeah, great. They got rid of me. They did. They got rid of me.
YouTube got rid of you. They sent you a fucking email to tell you why. You didn't mention anything about D.A. Rourke.
Got rid of Monica Lightly. They got rid of a few others that were causing trouble. But the question is, where do I go from here?
Check your notes. Check your notes. Stay on track. Don't start to ramble. This is Alan giving a statement on his channel to his patrons that's been heavily written and edited by a member of his family. Someone's helped him with this. They've coached him with this. He's sought legal advice. Like, so, you know, stay on track. Check the notes. The notes there. He's thinking, if only I wasn't a fucking idiot, I could be able to read that. It's not that he's dyslexic, I don't think. I think it's because he's a fucking idiot. He thought, I've got off the notes now. I'm off track. And the notes, really, the first page of the notes just says, do not rant, stay calm. And he's like, fuck, I've done that already. Fuck, do not rant. I've already done the rant. Stay calm. Oh, that's his face now. Fuck, I'm fucking this up.
I'll be honest with you, I spent the last few weeks working on a defence of a court case.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You did not spend the last few weeks working on the defence of a court case. No, you didn't. No. It's not like you've been away. You've been doing slightly fewer rumbles because they're rubbish and there's no point and you've got nothing to say about anything. But you've been absolutely hammering the TikToks. You've not been away working on your case. You went away for about 4 days for your birthday. And then in that process, I believe, as I've said, an adult, because you behave like a baby, an adult got hold of you and said, we're going to have to sort this out. The grown-ups are going to have a talk. You did not work on your defence for months. And then hand it in on the last day at the last minute. Get fucking bent.
Got a trial date, right? They want to settle out of court. There's no secret. You know that. He wants money. I refused to give him money or the win.
Right.
I have taken legal advice and
Then he goes, I have taken legal advice. Now, does that mean he's actually been to a solicitor? Because he might, if you know, you might say, when I was quite happy to say I've been to a good solicitor, they're a good solicitor. Legal advice is different from a solicitor. So I don't know if an adult in his family's dragged him to a solicitor or if they know somebody who's helped with this. But apparently now he has taken legal advice. And I don't think this does mean just Google. I think over the last 4 days with the family, I've said it enough times, I'm repeating myself now.
no secret then, you know that. He wants money. I refuse to give him money or the win. I have taken legal advice, and my legal advice I've got is that he can't do it because he's out of jurisdiction and he has to lodge a load of money with the UK courts, which he hasn't done. And to my mind, that should mean the case is thrown out. But I'm not a lawyer, so I can't do it and I can't fund it. But in my eyes, from what I can read, if you're an American trying to get money, that's all he wants is money, by the way, it's money. Out of court settlement in money. I've got that in writing. It's what they want. Out of court settlement in money. Out of court hearing. No court hearing. No nothing. Just money. But if he wants to do that, how's a judge going to make a decision on the case?
They don't have to because you settle out of court. If you do an out of court settlement, the judge doesn't make a decision.
Who's going to pay for the judge's time?
No one if you do it out of court. On that premise, no one. But I'm assuming you mean if you don't do that.
I'm the defendant.
Yeah, this advice sounds like advice you got off the fucking spanners, this bit.
No. The claimant has to pay for the court's time, which is the judge to read the stories. I've sent him over 1,000 pages of evidence.
See what I mean? Last minute, Alan's saying he sent over 1,000 pages of evidence. Now, I don't think Alan really understands. I don't think because you sent it to him, it is evidence. I think you might have to submit things as evidence. And I don't know if the judge will have to read through these 1,000 pages or maybe just throw them in the bin. I don't know what the system is. I don't know who he's using for this aspect of it. This is where I don't think he's got proper legal advice or sound legal advice, because it surely can't be a good idea to exasperate the judge who has put the judge has gone to the point of putting a hurry the chuff up and do what you're supposed to order on you, and you're going to mess him about by hand with them 1,000 page doc. This is silly. You just want to try and string it out, and you're saying it live on the internet that you're just trying to string it out. Like, they're going to see what you're doing and they're going to think you're an arse and they're going to rule as such. They're not going to just, oh, this man's found a loophole in the system, he submitted 1,000 pages of evidence, well, that's that done then. The old legal system will have to pack up and think about changing. No, they're going to say, well, I'm not going through 1,000 pages of evidence, not at this late stage. Surely.
No. The claimant has to pay for the court's time, which is the judge to read the stories. I've sent him over 1,000 pages of evidence. The judge is going to take, I don't know, 20 hours to read it all. They've got to pay that. Because how's the judge going to do it and then find me not guilty? Who's going to pay the costs? Because he's in America, they can't get the cost off him. So that's where, I'll be my honest opinion. That's my opinion. We're looking into law. My opinion is he has to give a lot of money to the courts. And he will ask you for a stretch target, and then he'll ask you for another stretch target. And then they say, oh, my lawyer's done it, so much work for nothing. Well, can you give us more money, right? But you're not giving him money anymore, are you?
So moving on to a slightly different point there, which we're reiterating, but what he's basically trying to say is, to sue me, they have to have a lot of money. And I'm not sure they've got all the money. But it looks like the lawyers have agreed to work pro bono based on the fact that when they win, they don't have to pay the money. And again, we're back to this, they can't sue me if I've got no money again.
You can only go to an empty well so many times.
Oh, and this, like I did talk on this, you know, the crowdfund's going to find it difficult in today's day and age, unless I'm not shouting about my own trumpet here, but, you know, we're doing the show about Alan tonight and there's quite a few people watching. Unless other people like me start yelling about this crowdfund and trying to take it into the, wider circles outside of this, people who've never heard of Alan, have you heard about this horrible man? We need your help to take him down. Unless this sort of thing goes on, I think it's going to be very difficult to raise that further funds off, unless the people who have been interested over the years are still interested and have still got money to throw at it. Maybe maybe you can get the committed few to give, a majority more, but I think it's a very difficult ask. I do agree with that. but then I don't know if the court case lives or dies on the crowdfund, you know. Big ups, Big Chris. World's worst hypocrite strikes again. It is funny, isn't it, that Angry Alan has been through multiple crowdfunds and delivered nothing.
Did David Icke penetrate you with his penis?
I'll tell you this.
That was the worst button. That was
disgusting.
I'm going to fight it.
You're going to fight it
because it's not a fair fight. Because I've got the truth.
You've got the truth.
All he's got is you've used hashtags, Russo. Whoever did their court case hasn't looked into the case. I can't tell you all of it, but that's just one example. It's ludicrous and pathetic.
He's silly as well because he's saying that whoever's looked into their court case hasn't looked into the case. I don't think they need to look into a big case. Like, they're not going to want to. What they're going to want to do is show me the video of the man defaming you, and then explain to me how this is defamation and why. Okay, yeah, it fits in all these things with the law. Yeah, that's classic defamation. All right, we'll take this case because you're going to win. Like, I think it's more like that, Alan. I don't think they need to know the intricacies of what happened, you know, at the oil fields or anything. I think all they need to know is there video evidence of this man defaming you? And Frankie will say, here are the videos, this is what I think. And they'll go, yeah, we don't need 50 of them. Just take these 2. They're good enough. That's the swish net shot. That's all net. And what about, linking him to, are these directed at you? Well, he's hashtagged me in them. Okay, absolutely. We'll put that in the, yeah. And then it's just like, give the judge an easy, like all the judge has to do is like, it's like setting up a snooker shot, and all the judge has to do is tap the ball in. So, you know, they've done the long drive, they've done in golf terms, I don't know why golf terms, they've done the long drive, they've done the chip up onto the green, and the ball is just this far away from the hole, and all the judge has to do is just look at it and go, yeah, that's a birdie, or whatever, an eagle, whatever the par was.
And even if they win, I've got no money.
And even if they win, I've got no money. A little smile. That's a big win for you, isn't it, Alan, to have no money?
So what is the point? The point is the trolls have told him I'm a rich man. The truth is it's all smoke and mirrors. I'm a poor man.
That's an incredible statement from Alan, isn't it? It's all smoke and mirrors. It is all smoke and mirrors with you, Alan. Always has been. When you want to appear to be a rich man, you're all flashy cash, aren't you? You're all flashy Alan. Big man Alan. Flashy Alan. Lovey Armani. What are you wearing today? What have you got on today? All flashy Alan. And when it doesn't suit you, you're a poor man living in a hovel eating baked beans out of a tin because you can't afford to turn on the microwave because Steve's busy on the exercise bike upstairs powering up the internet.
It costs a lot of money to live this day and age. I haven't been paid since September.
Is your pension not coming through?
Is what you guys give me on Patreon.
Oh, right. Wow, God, I thought, when he said he hadn't been paid since September, then I thought this was a problem. I'll let him talk. You know, people hate it when I keep pausing it, but I love to say my bits, but I'll let him say a bit more here and I'll let him talk because this is interesting. But, I'm dying to jump in here because you know that we all know he's had his pension, he's had lots of monies, he's had people helping him direct, not just tippies and things, but direct into PayPal. And I don't know what he's had off his family and stuff.
This day and age. I haven't been paid since September. All I've had is what you guys give me on Patreon, which doesn't even cover my rent. So how am I surviving? I'm not. I'm living on air. Which has got to change. That's got to change. I have to come to grips that, okay, I lost YouTube, doesn't matter. I try TikTok, right?
This is great. I'm going to tell you, I had to pause it. I'm sorry. This has got to change. I've got to come to grips with I've lost. This has got to change. That's somebody else saying that to him. Somebody's looked at his books and his accounts or some shit and they've said, Alan, this has got to change. Like maybe he gets like a family member to help him with his accounts and they've looked at it at the same time as they've had this lawyer's discussion. This, he's just had his birthday recently. He's just gone and stayed with family. They might have sprung it on him. While you're here, we all want to have a talk to you. This has got to change. And I think they know he's living beyond his means. And I wonder, where does he pay that rent to and who gets it and what happens if he's late with it and, who suffers there. So this has got to change. Sounds like something someone has sat down with baby Alan. Like, Kirsty, Dad's doing it again. He's spent all the money out of his current account again on hot dogs and Sarah Lee. This has got to change. We're not letting you have your own money anymore if you can't be responsible with it. Do you know what I mean, though? Like, he's obviously living beyond his means, isn't he? And someone sat him down and said, this has got to change. That's not something that Alan would come out with in his own brain. This has got to change. Like, someone said that to him, and they're getting eggy with him.
Yeah. Which has got to change. That's got to change. I have to come to grips that, okay, I lost YouTube. Doesn't matter. I try TikTok, right? TikTok, I've had millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of views, but no money. And my inner circle can tell you, I sent them how much I get paid, and it's like 3 cents. Congratulations, you earned 3 cents. Congratulations, you earned 5 cents. I've been paid $10 in 3 months from TikTok. Waste of time.
I think that might be true. I don't think TikTok does pay a lot of money, even with millions of views that you pay for. But he sent them the screenshots of him getting paid off the lives. I don't know if that's his actual payment from TikTok. But so young, isn't it, TikTok, Alan? So young. So young.
Hello, Moto.
I can say whatever the fuck I want.
But let's assume that he's not making a lot of money off TikTok, because as he's saying, it's a disaster. I don't think he would be saying this if it reasonably was a disaster, but I think he's making slightly more money than he's letting out on there. But, maybe, I don't know. Like, I'd have to get with a friend to like tot it up and have a look, but I don't think you do make a lot of money on TikTok. So I think that's legit. And it's nice to hear, isn't it? It's nice to hear that things are going really wrong for him, that YouTube was really important to him, and that if he doesn't have YouTube, he's basically ruined.
Paid, and it's like 3 cents. Congratulations, you earned 3 cents. Congratulations, you earned 5 cents. I've been paid $10 in 3 months from TikTok. Waste of time. And how many hours have I spent on TikTok? 50, 60, 70 a week.
70 hours a week. Is there any way in the world Alan has spent 70 hours a week on TikTok? And if he has, what's he been doing? I think that's the time he spends on gambling addiction, right? But 70 hours a week on TikTok. And he pulls that face there, that face, the Prince Andrew face, look. Pulls that face before he does it, before he tells us about it. What's he been looking at on TikTok? What's he been doing on TikTok? Who's he been talking to on TikTok? What's he spending hours and hours and hours on TikTok? 70 hours a week, like 50, 60, 70 hours a week on TikTok. What's he doing on TikTok? What's that face doing on TikTok? Like I can get it up now. I can show you his TikTok now. It doesn't have 70 hours of content a week. It doesn't have 7 hours of content a week. It's TikTok, for Christ's sake. Like, what's he doing on TikTok? Get it up for you now, look. This is what it's like. He hasn't even updated it for a couple of days. There's the snazzy jacket. This isn't thousands of hours. This isn't, I mean, this isn't hundreds of hours. This is awful. It's shit. There's no way he's spending that time doing this. He spends about half an hour a day knocking those out. He spends more time doing TikToks than masturbating. I don't know, actually, maybe he spends more time masturbating than doing TikToks. He spends more time, or maybe he spends, that's the problem. Actually, that's what I'm saying, isn't it? That's the problem, is maybe he's spending quite a lot of time masturbating on TikToks. 70 hours a week on TikTok. Maybe that's where all those views are coming from. Maybe that. Actually, here's a thought. Maybe you don't have to pay for views on TikTok if you just open up TikTok and let it play, because maybe it just plays on a loop. I wonder how many views you can... I wonder if you can watch your own TikToks and just leave them playing on a loop. I haven't thought about that. Or like, you know, Steve, get your phone out. I need you to open up TikTok. No, if you're going to live here, Steve, you're going to have your phone on TikTok unless you're using it. Steve, you've got a call coming in. Tell them you're busy. I need your TikTok. He's on there for... Yeah. Agreed, Sam. Agreed. Basically agreed with that.
AD's sexual deviant. AD's a con man. There is no child porn on the internet. I hate to warn you that. There is no child porn on the internet. I checked.
He checked. He's having a good look on TikTok now. 70 hours a week. Look at that face. What does he think he's seeing? What's he looking at? So young, that tiki-toki, in Alan's words.
And how many hours have I spent on TikTok? 50, 60, 70 a week. For £10 for 3 months. I have to tell you that I'm heading towards busts. And obviously, if I'm working for 70 hours a week to earn $10, $5, I'm heading towards busts, right? You know,
but obviously you're not working 70 hours a week on TikTok, and you're getting a lot more than $10 a week, aren't you? Because that's not, you just told us, you've got the patrons, you've got the tips they give you. You didn't mention your pension, but you've also probably got money somewhere else, have you? Like on PayPal or one of these accounts somewhere that you think they don't know about. Like,
do you know what you buy a milk?
Nancy fucking gives you loads of money, Alan. Like, we just looked at the calculation, 20 grand a year minimum.
I'm heading towards busts, right? You know how much a pint of milk is? No,
Drink soy milk.
So that didn't work. TikTok didn't work. Doesn't matter. I've got Rumble. Rumble, £2.68 I earned in 5 months. For the films, right? Luckily, I've got a few members that pay a monthly fee.
On top of the,
it's nowhere near.
On top of the patrons, on top of the, yeah. So you got another source there. Bear in mind, each time that's an extra source. So you've got the patrons, you've got the people who tip you, you've got the people who are now members of the Rumble. You know, those additional sources, they're all the same people. He's just grifting the same people over and over again. So they're paying into this and the that and the other, and he wanted the locals, and he's trying to think of another way of getting more money, and his method of getting more money is going to try and make the people who already pay him more money. Like, it's just explained to us that TikTok has been rubbish. Even if, like, what he said is, let's be real here, yeah. What he's told us here is that on TikTok he can get the views sometimes. I don't think it's organic. Right, I just can't believe that you would jump between 600, 6,000, 80,000, 2,000 and 10,000. Like those numbers in a series when all the videos look the same. Like you can't get 80,000 on one video and then 2,000 on the next with all the videos being basically the same setup and, you know, formula. It's just not really right. It just doesn't make any sense. So I don't believe in it, but like what he's saying is, I've been exposed to basically all the people on TikTok now. Like I had loads and loads of views on TikTok, and they didn't want to come and watch the rest of my content. They weren't interested in coming to my Rumble. They're just not interested, and that's good because fuck you. Basically, yeah. Like it doesn't work because you're not good. You rode a trend wave on YouTube and inflated your ego as along with your numbers, but you're not actually good at this. You haven't got anything to offer, and you're exposing yourself to more and more people who just think, yeah, I'll pass. So good, fair enough. Wrong thing, deliberately.
And I have to come to terms with the fact that I have to find a way to make money. So if TikTok's not going to do it, and Rumble's not going to do it, I've got my base here, but it isn't enough. I have to find another way.
Okay, so I'm keep pausing it, but I do want to, you know, dissect his nonsense and make sure you hear the truth. What he's saying is, those people who are giving him, even though I think Nancy giving him an awful lot of money should be enough, like those people who are giving him money, the £300 a month on Patreon, take that as an example. I used to get a lot of money on Patreon. He used to, yeah. And £300 a month, if he's got 30 people giving him a tenner each, still quite a lot of money, isn't it? £300 a month. But for that money, he's obliged to turn up, what, 2-3 times a week? Like, we did this on the calculator before as well. I'll just quickly do it for you. Like, Alan doesn't, I don't think, calculate, or I don't think he understands business plans or anything like that. So let's say you've got 300 patrons, and that's per month, right? £300 a month off these 30 patrons. and then you're going to do what we're saying. We're saying 3. I'm going to clear this. We're doing 3 shows a week. Yeah. So that's times that by 4 because that's monthly. So we're doing 12 shows a month, right? So £300 divided by 12. Each of those Patreon episodes earns him £25 a show. Thank you, John, for the $5. See, that's earning me my money. That's my monies. That's my monies. Thank you, John. Thank you. Alan is doing Patreon shows for $20 a show, essentially. That's the rough working out there, and he's obliged to do it 3 times a week. Now, it might or might not be worth that money to him. Like, lots of different ways of looking at this. It's quite a lot of money, and it's not bad to have that guaranteed, is it, in the bank, like to be doing those shows. But to Alan, $25 a show, doing it privately. Like, think of this as a business plan as well. He's trying to force people down the pipe to get into the Patreon. When they're in the Patreon, they're paying that money, he's getting that regular monthly, but he has to do those shows. Like, the business plan is he needs, because they're doing it on Patreon, they're like behind closed doors, he's not getting any new people in, no one's interested. He's got to get those people to give him more money, or he's got to get more people in, hasn't he? Because for that amount of money per month, like, it's like £300 a month, but you've got 30 people that are giving you money, and you're obliged to do 3 shows a week, and like, it doesn't, like, the balance isn't right, is it, for a business? Thank you, Asia Save Horses, for the €1.49. I love Euros. It means I get to say the word Euros.
Torture the battery boy.
Thank you very much. I say thank you over there to you. You see my window there. To you. Thank you. Like, when you do the business plan, it just isn't enough, is it? The Patreon is a thing that's like actually a hindrance to him. And whilst he thinks this is his best plan of getting the money in, like £300 a month, Nancy gives him that in one donation sometimes. So actually the Patreon's not his best thing. He thinks it's his best thing, and he thinks the business plan is funnel people into the Patreon, get them in there and get them giving me £10 a month. But actually it becomes a burden to him where he's got to do quite a lot of work, and he doesn't do the work. He turns up to Patreon with nothing. Yeah, like, he obviously doesn't do the work. He did one Patreon once where he actually had something to say, but he turns up with Patreon with nothing. But effectively, he's obliged to do a lot of work for a small number of people for a small amount of money every month, and that's not going to help him. That's not a big business plan. It's actually a burden to him. Thank you, DC Primetime, for the $19.99. A very generous super chat there, so I should pick out a really nice button for you. And I'm literally running out of buttons now. I had some new ones today as well. Where's me? I've got I've got one that we haven't pressed. Wait, I've got one that we haven't pressed. I've got to find the chuffing buttons. Here you are. How about this one? That's Fortnite, that is. That's from Fortnite. Thank you very much. Thank you. But yeah, like, I don't think Alan's worked his business plan out properly, basically. I'm making a bad point of it there as well. Because mostly £300 a month for doing a bit of chat on the internet, that's quite good, actually. It's quite good. If it was a bit of bonus, bit of extra, which it is to him because he's got a pension, like, it's not actually awful. But for him as a business plan, in terms of having loads of money to go to Malta and piss away on poker, it's not. It's not a good idea. It's not a good system. It's not a good setup. It's come to this, and he deserves this situation he's in now. You know, the obligation he's got to these people, and it's almost like, you know, I go on and on about how he grifts and he manipulates and he grifts and he manipulates, but he's almost in a situation now where if he didn't do that, he's completely fucked. Do you know what I mean? So in a way, it's kind of funny that he has to do that. Like, imagine having to stressfully grift and manipulate people all the time. I mean, he would do anyway. He would do anyway, wouldn't he? But it must be a bit of a, you know, sad existence, isn't it? To sort of be begging Nancy for cash. Don't worry, Asia Save Horses. Thank you. It's just lovely that you contribute, and I'm very grateful. Thank you, Just Jules, for the $1.99. Thank you. You know, everything goes in the kitty. It all goes in the cup. I'm very grateful for that. Thank you. God, you're getting Fortnite noises now because I'm running out of buttons. What about this?
Not if I got to find another way. I have to.
Okay, I'm going to go back because we want to hear him talking. You're going to want it. This is a great bit of. This is some classic Alan. I won't talk all over it now. I've done a lot of talking. I'll let him roll for a little bit. I'm going to want to jump in, but I'll let him say all this, and it's wonderful.
That didn't work. Tiki-Toki didn't work. I have to tell you that I'm heading towards busts. And obviously, if I'm working for 70 hours a week to earn $10 or $5, I'm heading towards busts, right? You know how much a pint of milk is? No, so that didn't work. Tiki-Toki didn't work. Doesn't matter. I've got Rumble. Rumble, £2.68 I've earned in 5 months for the films, right? Luckily, I've got a few members that pay a monthly fee. But it's nowhere near. And I have to come to terms with the fact that I have to find a way to make money. So if Tiki-Toki's not going to do it, and Rumble's not going to do it, I've got my base here, but it isn't enough. I have to find another way. And not only have I got to find another way, I have to raise money to get legal advice to fight the case. Bit of a dilemma, isn't it? What do I do? So I'm looking into tomorrow, because I've been working on my defense case for the last week, and that's when you see me. I've finished it now. I've sent it all off. They've got all my evidence. They've got all my evidence I've sent them. It's up to the judge now to do what he wants. He has to, because they refuse to mediate, and I refuse to give up. They're in an impasse where they've got to go, well, we award the case to Mr. Cohen, or they cancel the case out. They get to do what they want now. But I appeal. If they win, I appeal, because I have evidence that proves that I've been far more harassed than they have. And you know that. You people here, you know how I've been harassed.
So he just, I think, did a beg and then got off the beg onto this again for some reason. But just a minute ago, didn't he say, what am I going to do? What do I do? And he wanted them to throw money.
They refuse to mediate. So I'm looking into tomorrow to get legal advice to fight the case.
No, he's checking super chats there.
Bit of a dilemma.
He's checking the chat then when he said that.
Isn't it?
Bit of a dilemma, isn't it? AD needs money. How can we fix the case of the AD has no money?
What do I do?
What do I do? He says directly into camera. While he scans the chat, looking at the screen. Look at what is he looking at there? This is a classic Vinicum face. That is. That's classic Alan. I'll screen grab that.
So I'm looking into tomorrow.
And then he gets like, oh, well, nothing happened there. Didn't get a response. No one gave me a good answer. No one threw money. So I didn't get a good response. And then he goes back into this, like, ranting about the case again.
I appeal because I have evidence that proves that I've been far more harassed than they have.
And he burps there, but he says that they've been harassed. And I assume he means that he's been harassing them.
You know that. You people here, you know how I've been harassed.
Which is quite a bad thing to say on the internet, is that I've been far more harassed than they have. Because if I was in the court, I would say, oh, really, Mr. Vinicum? And how much have they been harassed and who by? Because we're talking about you and them. Like, are you saying that you've harassed them, Mr. Vinicum? And he'd go, no, I didn't mean that. But everyone in court would know it. And I'd go, mic drop. Witness questioned. Thank you, Your Honour. I have no further questions. Have I got a happy button for a minute? Oh, actually, there's one button. There's a special button that I haven't pressed that is really happy. There's a couple of them. Here's this one. That's my favourite happy one. And I've also got my friend Linsky, who shouted me out when I gave her a tip the other day, so I clipped that.
Okay, alright. So, thank you so much for that super chuffer. Okay, alright.
I like it when people say super chuffer. So...
Do you know how many people agreed to go to court to speak for me? Loads.
They don't. What? Could you imagine Alan bringing people to court to speak for him? What would they do? Stand up in the dock? I don't think he's done a defamation, Your Honour. Well, I don't care. Like, get out of the dock. I've got the video of him doing the defamation. What are you here for? What do the buttons look like? It's a Stream Deck. They look like this. These are the buttons. Like that. You can put all sorts of things on the buttons, and they can have menus on the buttons, so you can press a button, it can lead to more buttons.
Like our supporters have wrote statements telling them what's really going on, how they control these people. And I mean, the mother even says they're my people, you know. They work for me.
Wow, do you know what? I would love to see the Gangstalker files. Like, he's such an idiot, isn't he? Alan is literally such an idiot. The opportunities have passed now, but he could have put that, and that's a video. All the interesting things he's got in his document about the gang stalking, everything, even if I don't agree and I think it's against, you know, and he's going to say Martin Dean and this, it doesn't matter if it's even lies and wrong and slander and libel. It'd make a good video. It's all your research. If that's what you've been researching, make it into a fucking video. Like, he's on the internet talking about all this stuff. Like, I know it wouldn't go well for him because he wouldn't make a very good video, but it would have been funny. And now it's too late because now he's not on YouTube. So, but I suppose he did sort of do that, didn't he? In lots of ways, though, because he made it in lots of little videos, sort of weekly. Martin Dean said this, and Sex Mad Val's done that, and Super Chuffer's in their gang now. Like, you know, like every fucking week, didn't he? But for a while there, while he was getting really eggy as well, he was like, you know, doing more of them. But yeah, it feels like he just doesn't understand exactly what he's doing at all times, does he? Like, he's totally missed the chance there to make an interesting video that, whether you agree or not, if it's backed by evidence, and he says he's got loads of evidence, then all those people that were willing to speak for him, they could have been in his video. Like, it would have been in, like, and it wouldn't have mattered about going to court and slander. You'd have made a good video on YouTube for once. Whether people agree with it or not, you would have actually done some work.
For you, the people that have been set up to hate me because they're public figures. They've been set up to hate me. And that's illegal.
I mean, you'd have looked like a delusional narcissist, but at least you'd have done some work.
I don't know what's going on. It's not, and never has been, a case they can win. Unless they win by a technicality that I can't afford lawyers.
Big ups Cheeky Chops. Nancy can breastfeed AD. She's his cash cow. Alan's the lol cow and Nancy's his cash cow. And thank you, Just Jules. Well, welcome to regular. I'm literally running out of buttons, like I said. So, like, I'm going to have to press this button now. He's a paedophile. He's a paedophile. All right. Stop with the button. Press the.
So they bring up subsection law da 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 da. You have done subsection law da da da, and I go, I don't know what subsection law da 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 is. Well, if you don't do it by such a date, we're going to do an unless order, and we're going to win because you haven't provided us with the information.
Look, they didn't do that to try and fool you as a like sneaky trick. What it was, Alan, is that you didn't get a lawyer, so you didn't know how to go through the process. Big ups Blind B, 5 gifted Battery Exhausted memberships. Thank you very much. I do need more buttons now. Because that's really generous. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm going to pick out an old button for you.
I hear you're a racist now, father.
Thank you.
So luckily, I managed to get legal advice. And I've now done subsection da 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 da.
So this is critical. I'll play it back again. Like, thank you, and all new members. Make sure you check out the gifted membership perks you get. You get to watch videos on this channel that are secret. Some of them are a bit rare as well. That's why they're secret. So, like, when I say rare, I mean, like, you know, a bit raw. There's rare and then there's raw.
Law, da, 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 da. You have that.
I'm vegan, so I don't eat those sort of things, but you know what I mean. So what's happening here is that Alan's saying that he was baffled by... Baffled? God damn it. That Peter Folding and Blank Faces did that cool video of Peter Folding saying baffled, and now I say baffled. Anyway, so Alan was baffled by the law, and he was like, this is a trick they're pulling on me. Is that I can't understand the law, so I can't file a defence. It's not a trick they did on you, Alan. You did yourself your own trick by stepping in your own poo. It's like you'd refuse to get a lawyer, so now you don't understand the law and have problems with defence. But he's about to tell us, like he said, that he's now had legal advice and filed that defence. My guess is, if you are, by one of your family members, dragged in front of a solicitor and said, listen, I'll pay for this for him. He's my dad. I'll pay for him. Just sit down with him and write this damn letter to the court. Otherwise, he's going to lose this court case. And they've said, what court case? And she said, listen, don't let him talk about it. The debate. These are the legal papers. Look at them. File a defence. Don't start him talking about it. Otherwise, you'll go on. It's £300 an hour. Just write the letter. You know, or the other option is that Alan's got a family friend, or, you know, his daughter's got a family friend who is in some way legally competent and is able to do this on their off day. But I really can't believe in my heart of hearts that, like on the day before when he's going for his family, like imagine this, he's got legal advice now all of a sudden. Yeah, because we knew the deadline was coming up and Frankie did the update and he had a week to drop this off. So all of a sudden, within a week, he's got legal advice. And in that week, he's also been to see his family and stay over for about 3 or 4 days. So feels a bit convenient, the two happening at the same time for me. But now he's going to be all cock the hoop because the legal advice is going to give him the basic... like, since you're not employing them necessarily to represent you in court and they're not too worried about whether you win or lose, they're going to give you the basic, okay, whatever, you know, there's your defence, have that. And like, whether you win or lose, I don't think you're getting top brass lawyers here that are going to like solve everything for you, but he's going to feel a bit more comfortable now that at least that thing, he can bury his head again. Like, that was a big impending doom hanging over him, and now doom has paused, doom has been postponed again. Now we can talk shit again for weeks until doom hits me again. Right, but he's always got this ever hanging doom, hasn't he? Which is good for him to have because he's an arsehole. So.
My people, you know, they work for me. Well, they don't work for you. They're people that have been set up to hate me because they're public figures. They've been set up to hate me, and that's illegal. I don't know what's going on.
That's true. You don't know what's going on. That's true.
It's not. It never has been a case they can win. Unless they win by a technicality that I can't afford lawyers. So they bring up subsection law, da-da-da-da-da. You haven't done subsection law, da-da-da-da. And I go, I don't know what subsection law, da-da-da-da is. Well, if you don't do it by such a date, we're going to do an unless order and we're going to win because you haven't provided us with the information. So luckily, I managed to get legal advice. And I've now done subsection da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da.
But you still don't know what it is. So it's not you that's done that. Someone else has done it on your behalf. Legal advice. You'd think it was a solicitor. The fact that he doesn't say a solicitor, which is what normal people would say, don't know, not sure. Maybe someone's helped him with it instead. Could be a spanner. I'm saying it could be a family friend. Or it could be, you know, there's options on the table because Alan is mysterious and devious. So you don't really know. But this subsection, I think that's exactly what happened, is he had to file a defence using legal terms, couldn't do it. So eventually someone has done that for him now. And I'm to believe that he's at least hurdled that particular hurdle. And now we're going to go further on in the court case because that's what he's telling us. But, you know.
So what's the next plan?
What's the next plan? Well, you haven't got one, have you?
I'm not giving up. I'm not doing an out-of-court settlement. They're not going to do mediation. So the judge is going to go, can we spend 3 days in court on this case? And he'd go, who's paying for it? Well, certainly not me. I'm the defendant.
This is Alan telling these illusions again, like, you know, the way he makes up these fantasy worlds. Like, he might be very, very dramatically simplifying the process, or someone might have explained it to him in very simplified terms, but the judge is not going to go, and he's not going to say, and, you know, it's not going to be like that, and the judge might not even be a man for all you know, Alan, you chuffer. You know, again, so I do and don't believe exactly this, but... I mean, what I mean is I don't believe exactly this, but yeah.
Well, The other side's got to pay for it up front, and then they got to get it back off me when
It's
they
the
win.
money again, isn't it, Alan? It's all the money again. Is this just a big beg? Is it a big grift? Do you just want loads of money? Would loads of money shut you up? Would that shut you up, Alan, if you had loads of money? Is it all about the money? Because you're really, really concerned that they don't have enough money. If anything, you're selling me on the concept of paying into their crowdfund, because the idea that all they need is money and that's the only barrier to giving you a good hiding in public on the legal front, I'd gladly help fund that now. Like before, I was like, it's not my fight. You know, they've had their crowdfund. I'm not in that arena necessarily. I don't know exactly what he said in the past. I don't know much about that case. Over the time, I've learned a bit about it, whatever. But, you know, now you're just saying basically on the internet that if they had more money, then they could do you like more legal problem. So, like, whilst I don't intend to cause you alarm and distress through my broadcast, this is for entertainment purposes only, and, you know, all that business. Like, crowdfund equal you equals problem. Yeah, okay, well, they can have some money off me then. Like, all they need is money, and it's just a certain amount of money, and then it's they win. All right, okay.
Right? That's the law in this country. They've got to pay for it, and they get it back off me. They get awarded cost. When they win, the cost of the trial has got to be paid by me, but I'm broke. So the judge knows he has to get the money off them. Are they going to put up £50,000 before it starts?
Well, they've got that.
Because even if they win, they've lost the £50,000.
Yeah, but they've got the 50 grand, haven't they, in the crowdfund? They've got that. So yes, they will definitely do that.
And it's like a game of bluff. They know that.
It's like a game of bluff. No. This is where he gets things so wrong. He can relate this to cards. It's like a game of bluff. Oh, right, I see. Maybe this is the legal advice he's been given. It's not like that at their end. It's like that at your end because you've got nothing, so all you can do is bluff. But at their end, they've got a legitimate grievance, a proper court case, money, and process.
They know they can't go to court. I can, because I'm going to stand there and tell my truth. It won't cost me a penny. For them, it's going to be between 50 and 150,000 pounds, according to my advice from the lawyers I've got.
From the lawyers I've got. Now you've got lawyers, plural, and a lot of blinking while he was saying that. You know, I don't trust him.
They want to spend £100,000 plus more on top of what they've already spent, because what they already spent has gone on, don't know, frivolous.
Stop talking about them and this, Alan. It's getting boring now. Talk more about how you're broke.
Evidence. That's gone. So they've got to find another £100,000 to take me to court. And then if they win, they get nothing. Because I've got nothing. If they lose, they've got to pay £100,000. But they're going to pay it. It's in America. So what's the judge going to do? He's going to say you've got to pay money up front. And that's my honest understanding of the case as it stands. It's an impossible case. That's how it stands in my eyes.
An impossible case? Does he really believe? I don't know who's been giving him this advice, actually. An impossible case. You know, maybe I don't know our legal system. Maybe it is an impossible case. Did I read Discord messages about court, like DMs, something that someone else had said about it? I'm just going, you know, reacting to what he's saying here. So someone else said like he did a no-show, but I don't think there was even a court thing to show up to. I don't know.
My opinion. We'll see how it takes out. But I want you to know that's what myself and my team have been working on the last week, putting up a defence. We're not giving up. I refuse to give in to bullies. I don't care if they're lawyers. I'm not giving in. And you know all about the lawyer firm. You know how that fund is on their website and all the lies that were on that website that I lied about him going to court.
We're on the cycle
That's all
now.
been taken down.
We're on this repeat cycle.
Well, the
now.
biggest reason for taking AJ to court, he lied and said, I've got a police record. That's been taken down now. Do you know why it's been taken down? It's called dirty deleting. Because it's frigging true. And those of you with any sense know it's true. Even on his side.
Doubling down on the defamation. Always an interesting look.
And I can show the screenshots of what was originally up and what's now up. They're not even allowed to leave a comment on that GoFundMe. They can't even leave a comment. They've been banned from leaving comments since they used my name to make donations to their fund. That fund's been going on 3 years. It's recommended 3 months maximum.
I mean, I'm hearing behind the scenes that Alan didn't file. Maybe he didn't file. I've got to react to what the man's saying, you know, and at least... I mean, I'm not doing a body language analysis to see whether he's lying. I'm telling you, he's a massive liar and he's always lying. So you can't take any... I've said, you know, I can't trust anything he says. I've been saying it all the way through. But ultimately, it would be a strange thing for me. I think it would be a strange thing for him to go public to his patrons and say, you know, that he'd filed a defence and then it come out later that he didn't. Like, in legal documents published on the internet, like, where he can't hide from it. That would be weird. So I don't know. I'm thinking he probably did at the last minute. Like, it would be more in tune with his narcissism to, like, drag his... It's like, imagine what this is like. It's like you get given a detention when you're at school, but you don't want to tell your parents, so you don't... Like, this is something that actually happened to me, so I know. But you don't tell your parents because you're scared. So instead, you get another detention because you didn't go to detention because you had to go home because you couldn't tell your parents where you'd be. And, like, then it gets bad and you get a letter home. And eventually, like, you know, the school call your parents. And then when the school call your parents, you arrive home and think, shit, I'm going to come in really quietly and hope they're there waiting. You're supposed to be having detentions. Why have you not told us? You know, all this business. Like, it's like that. He's like a naughty child who left it and left it and left it. And then someone discovered it. He's like a child who hides... old like crisp packets under the bed, and then eventually someone turns the bed over and there's like 100 crisp packets. That's where all the crisps, you know, it's that sort of behaviour, and it's only when it gets to the bursting point that something happens and changes. But my feeling on it, like I said earlier, is that because he was with his family, because it's his birthday, he could pour on the thick narcissism. I think he went to the one family member who would be more vulnerable to this approach as well, which is like crying and upset, and I was hiding it from you, but actually it's really bad. And they've said, well, we'll just get you to a solicitor, like now, tomorrow. It'll take an hour. You tell them what you've done or what you haven't done. Don't give them the fucking, you know, we're paying by the hour. This is the document we need you to file. He doesn't know how to fill this in. What kind of defences are there? Could that be, we'll say that. Let's go. You know, I think that's probably what happened, to be honest. But if I'm to believe him fully, then he spent weeks organising it. And if I'm to believe through the grapevine, he didn't see it, didn't file at all. But it will all come out.
How long are they going to torment this old man? When am I going to breathe again? At this rate, never.
Pity party.
Because that fund's going to be up forevermore, isn't it?
Well, it won't be up forevermore, will it? If the process, like, if you didn't drag the process out, like you're saying, like, and you're so, like, it's weird because I've come across this idea earlier that if he doesn't care because he hasn't got any money, why didn't he just say he's guilty and just get it done? Like, why didn't he even settle out of court? Like, why didn't he do anything? Why has he caused it all to be dragged out? He wants to drag it out as long as possible to try and make them spend as much money as possible, thinking that they can't, that's his only way of fighting this. Like, he thought he'd got a glitch in the system, a loophole in the system, but actually he's being an idiot, and they can all see him being an idiot in public, so they hate him. Like, the court, like, Alan makes enemies of people he meets in public, personal, private, whatever life, because he's not a nice person. So the court people now think he's a dickhead. Before the judge has even met him, like, if Alan ends up turning up in court, the court will be like, oh, this is Alan Vinicum. I've seen you on video and I've had to deal with your bollocks behind the scenes here. So I'm looking forward to this one, Mr. Vinicum, although professionally I can't have any feelings. The court itself is offended by your presence. Like, do you know what I mean?
Even if it goes up £5 a week. So I wanted to tell you that. That's got that off my chest.
Good, I'm glad you got that off your chest.
I haven't said anything that's illegal tonight. I haven't given you any hate towards the other side. I'm just telling you.
You did double down on one aspect of the defamation, saying about his criminal record, and you didn't say anything hateful about Shannon, although you did point out that she was dead. So it's just about tone and decency tonight, Alan, yeah. And the massive begging, all the begging from the people that give you the most money. Out of all the people that have given you loads of money through the course of your life, for some reason, these remnants, as you described them in your chat, Alan, they've given you quite a lot over the last few years, and you've really got your hooks in, and you really want to drain them dry. Vampire Vinicum.
That's got that off my chest. I haven't said anything that's illegal tonight. I haven't given you any hate towards the other side. I'm just telling you that I have more than them. I have more evidence than they have. Their biggest thing is hashtags. Hashtags.
It's giving him a headache.
Oh, yeah.
Someone
And you
please
alluded
quickly give him some money.
that our family are covering things up, they know. Yeah, I alluded that because I believe they are hiding stuff from us. I do.
Oh my God. Do not go on the internet and say, yes, I did that because I thought that. Save it for the court and let your solicitor say it. This is the most stupid thing I've seen him do in such a long time. I'm sorry I keep pausing it. I'm going to rewind it a little bit back and let it just play. But like, oh my God, don't do this. If you're being sued for defamation, don't go on the internet and say, yes, I did that, but... I mean, obviously they've got the videos, so he can't hide from it, but it feels like you might scupper your own case. Doesn't matter how many... Oh, I've got all evidence against your case. Your case is rubbish because you said I was a bad man. You and your friends on the internet said I was bad. And I think you're all doing gang stalking, so I'm going to win the case. Doesn't matter about that now. You just confessed to the very thing. Like earlier on, you alluded to the idea that Frankie was being harassed as well as you. Yeah? Maybe by you. And now you're like, yeah, well, I did say that. If anything, if you had legal advice, they would have said, do not talk about this on the internet. I don't care. You'll be like, yeah, I have to tell my patrons. They're like, if you do have to talk, don't. Tell them in a Zoom call. Do it in a private post or something. There's no need to do this on the internet anymore. Do not make it worse. That would be the number one thing any legal advice would be to Alan. Do not make it worse. But he can't help it.
Yeah, I alluded that because I believe they are hiding stuff from us. I do actually believe that. They know more than us. Oh, where did I hear that before? Mummy Ramblings. Shanann's father.
I hope you got the clips.
We know more than you. We know what really happened, but we're not telling you. Would you call that hiding stuff from the police and the public?
Oh, I'd be careful, Alan, because in court they're going to want their exact words, not the way you twisted and changed them and added things and made it seem different. They're going to want their exact words, aren't they? So
that's all I said.
That's all. I'll rewind it a bit. I need to go a quick bathroom, and there's a bit more of this. It's going to be more fun. But I know that I talk a lot. I'm sorry to everyone that watches it and says you pause it a lot. You can see why, though, can't you? Because the man's a Burke, and everything he says, every sentence, I have to say, no. It's like, he's just an absolute montage of nonsense.
Hashtags.
Hashtags. Oh, the hashtags give me a headache.
Oh, yeah. And you alluded that our family are covering things up, they know. Yeah, I alluded that because I believe they are hiding stuff from us. I do actually believe that. They know more than us. Oh, where did I hear that before? Mummy Ramblings. Shanann's father. We know more than you. We know what really happened, but we're not telling you. Would you call that hiding stuff from the police and the public? That's all I said. And that's supposed to be slander, right? That's supposed to be slandering them. They said it on Mummy Ramblings. We've got it recorded. Go to court with it. Go to court. Stand there and say to Mr. Vinicum, you said this family know more than they're saying. Yeah. Here's the proof. There's no defamation if you're telling the truth, Mr. Vinicum. I know.
He's so done. Oosh. He's so done. So they said, we know more than you. Hang on. The best way to do this. We know more than you. So what you're saying there, who are you? I'm Alan. We'll put the glasses on then. I'm not going to be quick enough, am I? The button, when you press the button, it's instant, but putting the glasses off takes time. So, try it. I am trying it. I'm going to poke myself in the eye. I'm not quick enough with the glasses. You'll have to try it for this one. Try it for this one and see how it works. All right, look. So, we're the good people, and we said, we're the Rusiks, and we said that we know more than you. It's a general statement. It's true. About the case, about whatever. We know more than you. So what they're saying is, they didn't tell the police stuff. The stuff they didn't tell the police. Well, that's a bit of a reach. No, you just said it. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. You did. I heard you did say it. No, you didn't. You made it up. You twisted it and made it into something else. Ah, that Nicole Kessinger's a bit of all right. Stop it. So you see what's happened here? Because I think I see what's happened here. Is he's just put his foot in it again. Faster! I'll poke my eye out.
That's all I said. And I'm being... Would you call that hiding stuff from the police and the...
Would you call that hiding stuff from the police?
Not telling you. Would you call that hiding stuff from the police and the public?
And the public. Don't care about the public. Would you call that hiding stuff from the police? Your Honour, Mr. Vinicum suggested that the Rusik family hid stuff, in his words, hid stuff from the police. That is defamation on their character, as they would have done anything in their power to find the truth behind the murder of their daughter, and they did not hide anything from the police. And Alan will say, but they on their mummy ramblings, they said they knew more than the general public. And I say, okay, Mr. Vinicum, that's your defence. You are found guilty of defamation by way of saying this exact thing. Like, why did you just say that, Alan? You've just done it again. If it couldn't be more clear, because I didn't know. Like I said, I didn't know exactly what he said throughout the years that's led to this exactly. I know he said lots of bad stuff, of course, and I didn't know exactly which point they were going to bring up in court and say this is the thing that thing nailed on. Nailed on, isn't it, Alan? Unless you've got a clip of them saying we didn't tell something to the police or we hid things from the police. It's the police aspect, and you just said it then. That's the bit that makes it really bad.
Before. Mummy ramblings. Shanann's father. We know more than you. We know what really happened, but we're not telling you.
We know more than you. We know what really happened, but we're not telling you. If that's the exact quote, it's got nothing to do with the police. And it might not even be anything to do with the murder. You don't know what that quote is related. You know, context is necessary to really ascertain what that means. But what it certainly doesn't mean is we hid things from the police. No one is going to be able to argue in court that statement that Alan just said means we hid things from the police. And if that's what they're going to do him for defamation for, he's defamed them, and he did it again now.
Would you call that hiding stuff from the police and the public?
Yes. No.
That's all I said. And I'm being... That's supposed to be slander, right? That's supposed to be slandering them.
Oh, no.
They said it on Mummy Ramblings. We've got it recorded. Go to court with it. Go to court. Stand there and say to Mr. Vinicum, you said this family know more than they're saying. Yeah. Here's the proof.
Well, you just...
There's no defamation if you're telling the truth, Mr. Vinicum.
It's not the truth.
I know.
What you just said about the police was not the truth.
And that's how it goes on. Every accusation I can counter exactly the same.
It was defamation.
Every one of them. I don't think Mr. Cohen actually knows what went on. I think he's just taken their word for it.
Alan, he doesn't have to know what's gone on. All he has to know is, did you say that about the family, about the police? And if you did, which you just said it again and then, you just said it then. So if they couldn't beat you before, they can beat you with this one now. Yes, that is defamation. Seems pretty sensible and clear to me. You're accusing the family of the murdered Shanann Watts of hiding things from the police. I'm smiling in a real, true, honest, big, broad smile here because I can't believe it. In the same way as I opened today's show with that Dark Side Phil doing racism, so I made a song out of his racist remarks. because it's funny that he could be that racist on the internet and like ruin his own life by being an arsehole and in public. And you're like, I can't believe he's being this, like, it's like if I was sat with him and he was like part of my group, I'd be like, that's embarrassing. But because he's not, I can be like, oh my God, look how embarrassing this is. Like, what? I'm pretty sure if you'd had legal advice, they would have told you not to do this.
Yeah, okay. Is that what he said? Oh, yeah, right, okay, yeah. Hashtags. Oh, bloody hell, hashtag.
It's because he's eggy.
I'm going to call it the hashtag case.
Oh, good one. And he keeps going over it because I think he's done his Patreon to try and get some of these ladies. The reason PayPal, because he's doing the Patreon, big pity party, big like, oh, it's bad for me and the court case and all this again. And they've heard it a million times, but now shit's getting more real and he actually needs money. And like, he's actually, like, his response behind the scenes as well, because he's a gambling addict narcissist, he will need this narcissistic fuel. He'll need these people to say how good he is. He'll need these people to give him money. He'll then take that and use it as further fuel for his gambling addiction, which will then leave him, the eggier he gets, the worse his life is, the more he'll pour into that gambling addiction in desperate hope that he might win $1 million or something. And the worse it will get, because the more poor he'll get, the more time he'll spend gambling, and maybe even worse hobbies. If he's got worse hobbies or addictions, now's the time that a narcissist will lean on them hard, when he's feeling vulnerable and, like, you know, worried and eggy, and his sense of self and his illusions that he creates for himself and the others around him, when they're shattered by the truth. So this is a big truth shatter moment, because like the court is going to shatter his world with truth. And he keeps saying about the truth. He keeps waving the truth around. He's that reverse thing again. Darvo is, they divert, reflect, and reverse victim and offender. Like, he'll reverse the situation round, won't he? Like, reverse, I don't do anything hateful, don't make any hateful videos about anyone, they make them about me and I have to respond. When in actual fact, some of these channels only started making videos about him because he was being horrible to them and they needed to say something in public about him being horrible to them. So his right to reply has always been, he starts the fight first and then someone else. Like, Alan spoke about me on his content before I spoke about him on mine. Let's get that clear. I've got a clip of him saying the derogatory tone here.
Good luck with your channel, son.
That was him talking about me.
Good luck with your channel, son.
Wasn't it? So we all know where this starts. He's such an idiot.
The hashtag case. So there we are, that's that.
Even this, which is a very serious moment in his life, gets turned into silly nonsense. The hashtag case. Because Alan is inside and out still a child.
I'm going to call it the hashtag case. The hashtag case.
It's not that serious then, is it? If it's all fun and games.
So there we are, that's that. I've got to really think this week on what to do for the future.
Brilliant.
If anybody's got any ideas, send them to me, how I can make money. Not give me money. Give me an idea on how to make money. I need a way of making money. Is there something I can... No, I'm too old to go out to work. I want something online. I want to work from home. So I need something where I can earn some money. Not a lot of money, but enough money so I just want to break even up.
Tell me how much money you want. Not enough money, not loads of, just a bit more money. Money, more money. Obviously, I can't go out and work because I'm old. I don't know what that means. Obviously, you can go out and work. It doesn't matter that you're old. The wanting to work online, you already do that, Alan, and you're failing at it. Yeah? So what is this, like, do you have some special skills that you could, you know, is there any, you just want some extra money, what can you do? And I asked them earlier, you know, put them in you're going to put them in chat now above my head, of course. You've been putting them in earlier, but you're also going to want to put them in the comments section, because that's where they're going to stay in last and there's going to be more comments. And you can upvote other people's comments. So Angry Alan's job could be, and then put your comment and people can upvote it in the comments. And we'll find out what his ideal job is, I guess. But I'm thinking Alan, I hope, doesn't get any further money from doing any of this rubbish. And I've got a suggestion for him, which is that it's really difficult now because he's ruined it by not being on YouTube. But do you remember Challenge Annika? Yeah? We could do Challenge Alan, and I'd be the producer and he could do what we tell him. We'll film that. We'll have to do a debate, you know, get him on. I'd do a once weekly show with Alan. I'd pay him to be on the show. How about that? I don't know how much money you need to break even, Alan. I'm not going to be paying all your rent and everything. I'm not going to be like throwing wads of cash at you because you're banned off YouTube, so it makes it difficult for us to monetize. But, you know, I'll work out a business plan. I'll offer you an offer. I'm starting low. I'm starting low with Alan because, you know, he is low. But we can talk, can't we, Alan? I'm the one you want to negotiate with because there's no one else in the world that can offer you any money or can wring any value out of what you do. Like, I can actually turn your nonsense into 5 hours of a YouTube video. I could turn your nonsense into a legitimate media thing we do together. It won't be on the Netflix, it won't be on the BBC, and it can't be on YouTube. But if I make content with Alan in any way, I said this to my mum in the car earlier. I told her that we could, I've said it before, we could do Angry Alan and Scott's film review. And we do the film review. All we have to do is watch a film and then talk about it for an hour. And we're not allowed to argue about other stuff. And even that would get views, clicks, interest, because the behaviour of the man and the way I would talk with him. You just, there's so many things we could do together. And as a concept, he has to turn up and do what I say. Like, he has to turn up, breach a contract, no payee, take you to court. But like, this is why we can't do a live show, is because, like, when I say a live show, I mean like a live show in an arena. Like, we could book I was thinking we could book an event, you know, we could do it on stage like you did with Colin Sutton. Angry Alan and Scott live on stage. People would pay ticket money to come and see it, and then it doesn't matter that we're banned off YouTube, does it, Alan? Like, well, you are. But like, in order for me to work with him, I have to find another platform, and he has to turn up and do it. So if we book a big hall and we book a big event and then he doesn't show up, then that's bad. But if we do a live stream and he doesn't show up, we just laugh because he didn't show up, so it makes it worse for him. But yeah, we need to do some sort of event. We need to do some sort of stream together, Alan. We need to do a regular concept. We could come up with some ideas, bounce ideas around, and I'm the only one that can wring that monetization out of you. Otherwise, you haven't got it. You don't have it. So no one else is coming up to you with any offers of any money right now, are they, Alan? Can I hear anyone else coming forward to offer Alan a big cheeky payday? No. Once a week, the Scotty Hottie Show. To start with, we should go Great Bonanza Buns, shouldn't we? We should do 3 a week. The Scotty Hottie Show featuring Angry Alan on whatever platform I can find to monetize it. Because I need to monetize it. I can't just pay Alan. Like, I need to make money off it. But I'll tell you something. I'm not giving him half the tippies. I'm not giving him the super chats. None of that. I'll give him a one-off payment for being on the stream, and he gets it at the end of the stream having turned up. And I'll take everything else, all the other monetization I can get. That's all on me. That's my show. I'm the producer. He'll just come on as the talent. But, you know, as a one-off, as a bigger event, we can offer up somewhere in the region of, I don't know, £200 maybe even, Alan. Depends what we do and how we can seek to monetize it. But yeah, I'm not offering him £200 for anything minor though. Yeah, it'd turn up 50 quid. Well, 40 quid we'll start at then. 40. If we turn up 50, we'll start at 40. I mean, really, he's only worth £20. Like, we're talking about an hourly rate on a man who's banned off YouTube, and I've got to try and monetize the content on the internet. So it's going to be difficult for me. You know, I'm his lifeline. I'm his theatrical agent now. Trying to get him bookings. Very difficult. He can't go on any of YouTube. I have to find a different avenue, and people aren't just going to, you know, turn up and pay-per-view and this and that if it's not on YouTube, are they? Like, the whole thing's going on YouTube. Alan's learned this by being on Rumble and doing what he's doing. So we'd have to figure it out, but I want to say we'd have to figure it out. I only have to figure it out if I want to, because Alan, this is his only lifeline. I can create something, and then I can give him money for appearing. Yeah? Like, look at him thinking about it, contemplating it. It's the old poker game. He's going to be like, well, you know, put more money on the table, put more money on the table. I'd say turn up first, Alan, and let's do one. And let's see the proof of the pudding in the eating. If I make more money on it, I'll offer you more money next week. Then you've got a bargaining chip. But at the moment, you've got nothing. So I'm saying you're not worth much because you can't be on YouTube. But I think I can create a content thing. You don't have to turn up in the same room as me. We can do it on the internet like this. But you'll be for real on your end, talking in your computer. And I'll be here on my computer. We might have the chat. We'll need the chat. But, you know, I need to find a way of turning it into monetization. Because if I can't, there's no point in paying you for nothing. just because they want to see it. Actually, there is a point in doing that. I would do that. I tell a lie. If I couldn't monetize it, right? If I did it on Twitch, for example, and I can't, like, I don't think Twitch does pay-per-view or anything. Like, I would just do it on Twitch, and they would just get to see it for free. In fact, I would rather do that and have it happen than say I'm not doing it because I'm too stingy and wanted to make my money back. But you'd all understand that you'd need to give me a fucking tippy because I'd be paying money to Alan for doing the show. So I'd be down at the start of the episode. But I think it would have been funny if we could have done it on YouTube and I could have had pay-per-view money and it would have, like, you know, the numbers on the YouTube, like, because you could have a simple pay and watch it version on YouTube, I think, you know, buy to rent, you know, thing. And the amount of numbers, like a boxing match, like a pay-per-view event, and we'd build it up, you know, like we do it, like we do a press conference beforehand and stuff, like we'd build it up and like we'd plan to have a big debate or some shit. Like we'd have 3 subjects that we were going to have a big row about. Like, that would be cool. Well, obviously we can't do it now, but we'll find a way. We'll find a way. Alan's chewing his fingernails trying to find a way of, he needs extra cash. I mean, maybe he could just not pour all his money away on horrible poker.
Is there something I can... No, I'm too old to go out to work. I want something online. I want to work from home. So I need something where I can earn some money. Not a lot.
He nearly said a restaurant then, because he's got experience in that trade, hasn't he? Could you imagine if Alan went to work in a restaurant and you went out for dinner and Alan was your waiter? Like, could you imagine if Alan was your waiter? He don't even work there at this point. He don't even run the place at this point. So he thinks he knows better than everyone who works there, but he's at the bottom rung of the ladder and he doesn't care about you or your food and he's just eggy to be there and he's your waiter. That would be the worst dining. It wouldn't matter what food I was being brought. Alan would have touched my plate.
Money, but enough money, so I just want to break even up.
He declined 10k. Did he? He hasn't. He's in a different position now. I mean, I've made bigger offers to him to come on a stream before, but he's in a different position now. Minky, haven't seen you for a while. He's in a different position now, and what will happen is, he'll get worse. Things will get worse for him. And Scotty Hottie's opportunity will dwindle. Like, Alan can... There's a way Alan can make the opportunity better, which is to do more stuff on his shows that we can react to and that's funny. Like, do Angry Alan's Mad Hour for a couple of weeks, see how that goes, yeah? And then, like, build it up that way. But ultimately, it's going to be Scotty that's offering Alan the money. No one's offering him money to do anything. Like, no one else out there in the spectrum of content creation is going to offer Alan any money to do something, are they? So, well, his choice is go and work at McDonald's or go on the internet with me. You'll pay me thousands to draw me nude. Well, only from the back.
I can't do it on YouTube. They take my YouTube away. Wait, that's probably a good thing, isn't it? Don't you think? Look what we went through as a group on YouTube. The hate we had to receive. All projected, all done from Diem and his friends and friends of the client, you know.
Friends of the client. I've got nothing to do with any of that. Anything I've put you through on YouTube, I'm not counting your audience. That's not fair. I didn't put your audience through shit, but anything that, you know, I didn't do it.
Such a shame. We had such a community of 100,000 people on YouTube.
I mean, I didn't do anything to your audience. I made content about you, and it's got nothing to do with the Rue 6, is what I was saying. You didn't have a community of 100,000 people. That's a lie. You had overinflated subscriber numbers, and you had a community of about 30 people, which are the same community as with you now. And then you had a wider community of people who used to turn up and watch because you're an arse.
We had such a community of 100,000 people on YouTube.
You'd never got 100,000 people. Where is your YouTube play button? You never got 100,000 people.
And it was taken away from us. They took it away from us. Jealousy. Now, I tried watching some YouTube channels, and honestly, most of them are rubbish.
Good luck with your channel, son.
Thank you. Babaloo Xanadu for the €10. Thank you. Thanks for being real. Keep being you. Thank you. I'm forced to keep being me as I can't unzip this skin suit and transfer into a new body. Because I declined the Illuminati Masons invitation, I don't get to feast off the adrenochrome of children and zip into a new skin suit. So I have to just be me.
M-I-M-P.
Torture the Battery Boy.
M-I-M-P.
Torture the Battery Boy.
Delight, what are you talking about? You're just reading out a newspaper cutting now.
This is good. He's going to throw shade at other YouTubers. Obviously, Alan just reads out the newspaper. Alan gets scripts provided by the Spanners. Alan watches literal hours of other people's documentary or YouTube footage, plagiarises it, whips it up as if it's his own. Like, what is he doing? Slamming other YouTubers. The bitterness, the position he's in. This is ridiculous.
I'm watching some YouTube channels, and honestly, most of them are rubbish.
They're rubbish.
Delight, what are you talking about? You're just reading out a newspaper cutting now. Or you've got no continuity, you've got no story. Some of them can't even read. I watched one last night and he read a letter out and it was like, Andy went down the road and that was this and then this, that, and then yes, and then she went. Honestly, at least put some emotion into it.
Are you dyslexic, Alan? Because you talk often about being dyslexic and how dyslexia has affected you. But you are now criticising another YouTuber for their inability to read well. I feel like this is one of these moments as well where I feel like my error does not compute. It's like, you know, when you have a robot and you're supposed to ask a robot a paradox, and like if the robot is a robot, it breaks its brain because it's a paradox. You've seen that in the films. Like, what are you talking about? I don't tend to criticise your reading ability because you keep going on about being dyslexic, although I contradict whether you are actually dyslexic, and I think maybe you just didn't want to go to school. But how can you critique someone like this? Like, of all people to say this, error does not compute.
You've got no continuity, you've got no story. Some of them can't even read. I watched one last night and he read a letter out and it was like, Andy went down the road and that was this and then this, that, and then yes, and then she went. Honestly, at least put some emotion into it. Or, I don't know.
Yeah, Alan. His community posts where he can't even spell. Yeah, absolutely. You know, absolutely. Yeah, his garbled community posts. Yeah, it's just, and Alan believes, like, what he's saying here basically is that, and this is a failing that he has in his content, is he believes that it's the way you tell him. He doesn't have to have content, and like content to Alan is not about. It's all smoke and mirrors. He said it earlier. It's all smoke and mirrors. He doesn't have to. Like most people would think it's about the research. Like, okay, if you're having trouble reading the script a little bit, but you're delivering the information, like, you get a little bit of a break from that because not everyone's great at reading scripts and stuff. But like, Alan thinks that because he can use illustrative language and talk it, and he's a great public talker. He thinks he's a great public talker. He's not. He reminds me of that song, you know, thinks he's got a little, but there's not much there. You know, that one. He thinks he's quite a winner, but there's not much there. You know, that from Les Miserables. Everybody's boon companion. Everybody raise a glass. Raise it up the master's arse. It's this dickhead. Like, but there's not much there. He thinks he's this great orator and he can enrapture the crowd with his words. And so when other YouTubers aren't so good at that, he's going to pick on that. And he's going to say, the reason that I'm such a good YouTuber is because the way I tell them. But you actually don't have anything. There's no substance, Alan. You're saying you're all mouth and no trousers. That's what you're really saying. So this is a bit of a nasty bitterness that's come through here as well, isn't it? To have a little pop at, not naming anyone. I don't know where this came from as well, why he felt the need to factor in a good pop at some other YouTubers. Thank you, Redfan, for the 5 gifted memberships. Of course, I will pop at other YouTubers. That's basically what I do on this channel. But with some substance behind it and some reason, these people can now, with their gifted memberships, you chuffers, you lucky chuffers with your gifted memberships, can now check out the content on this channel that is well, it should be fully cooked, but it's not. It's raw. So check that. It's members content.
Torchy the battery boy. Torchy. Light on. Yeah, Torchy. I remember Torchy when I was a little tiny boy. I used to love Torchy. Torchy the battery boy. There is no child porn on the internet. I hate to warn you that. There is no child porn on the internet. I checked.
I can say whatever the fuck I want and you like it. Or you shut the fuck up.
Job as a reader, put it that way. Some emotion into it, or I don't know. They'll never get a job as a reader, put it that way.
They'll never get a job as a reader, which obviously you could do. Why don't you go for the job of reader? Why don't you reader the writing on the wall? It says, call Alan Vinicum at this number for hot sex. And it's written on the side door of a broken toilet in the services on the M5. By you. You wrote it. You. And you broke the door, you arsehole.
Don't know. They'll never get a job as a reader, put it that way. Most of them bore me silly, you know. But I know I can do a better job. Yeah.
Which is borne out by the statistics and oh wait, hang on. Obviously you can do a better job than all these YouTubers, which is why they've collected millions of views talking about exactly the same content, but just in a very different way sometimes. You got to give them that Nicole Kessinger stuff you were saying. Some of them, haven't they got 1 million views? But and you're like, oh, but I was saying this, all this, but isn't it just the way they manufactured the whole channel, the videos individually? Didn't they not spend hours and hours doing grifting live streams with Nancy? Maybe they've gone about things in a different way to you, Alan. Maybe you couldn't do it. Maybe you didn't do it. Maybe, Alan, it's not about whether you say you can and think you can. Maybe it's whether you did. Because a lot of the time, Alan, you've had your chance. You've been at the table. You've had your chips. And now you've got nothing and you've got to go home with nothing again. Okay? That happens a lot for you, Alan. It's happened with the poker. It's happened with the restaurant business. It's happened with the DJing, didn't it? How was your holiday to America? It's happened, and I'm not talking directly to Alan. This is not to cause him alarm nor distress. This is for entertainment purposes. Alan's banned on YouTube. I can't think he'd watch this. It's fair comment on YouTube. Everything you touched has turned to shit, yeah? If anything, what I really think people should see and take out of this, I said it earlier, I'll say it again, don't give him any money. Like, there's no point in fueling this man any further. What's he going to do with the money? Like, let's say we gave Alan £20,000 tomorrow and they write the court case off and say that's done. Don't worry about the court case. Don't worry about legal fees. None of that. We've finished with that. Here's £20,000 for your trouble. What's he going to do with it? He's going to turn it into nothing by summer. By summertime, he'll need more money for his summer trip to Malta because he will have already spent the 20 grand. He'll have already pissed it up the wall. He'll have new hat, new jacket, new glasses. He'd have been to Malta or somewhere else. The local street walkers will have had a very hard time.
Cheeseburger challenges.
Mukbang.
And he'll be happy for a short while, but then it'll all be gone again, won't it? He'll have spent a bit more on the poker app, a bit more here on that. He won't have improved his streams in any way. He won't have shared it with anyone that deserved it in any way. He won't have like shared his fortune, you know, the benefit he got with anyone. It would have been awful, really, wouldn't it, to have given him £20,000 and watched him piss it up the wall. That wouldn't have been our money. That was fantasy money we just imagined. Now imagine you're Nancy and you do that to the tune of 200 grand a year, or what was it? 20 grand a year. Sorry, over the 5 years, 100 grand. Like, what's he done with it? He could have built literally. Alan could have built a charity foundation with that 100 grand. He's on the internet saying the reason you should give him money is because he's got nothing. But that's the worst reason. Imagine going into the Dragon's Den and say, "Hi Dragons, I'd like you to give me £50,000 for my business." And they say, "What's your business and what's been up to it?" And you say, "Right, well, I'm basically broke because I've spent hundreds of thousands of pounds on, I've got nothing to show for it." And they say, well, is that the business plan? You say, no, I'm going to take your money and I'm going to spend that as well, and I have nothing to show for it. And you're like, well, that's an awful business plan. I don't think you should give him any money. I'm out.
You know I can, but I can't find a way to get my word out there anymore.
So what you were saying, Alan, the reason you want these women's money is because they were fueling you to make YouTube content to try and get the word out about Nicole Kessinger, but now you're useless to them because you're not on YouTube and you can't find a way to get the word out. So even that is useless. What they need to do is find somebody else to turn to give their money to support, who's on YouTube and is doing better. And then they can just leave you to just do whatever because you're useless. Like, if it's just pity and it's just financial pity, then you're a beggar and they can give you money. You can be a beggar. No, it's just financial pity begging. Yeah, okay. But you don't have a use in terms of funding you to make content for any reason. You've just said it yourself on your own show, is that it's useless. The money goes nowhere. It's a waste. Even if they want to try and get Nicole Kessinger or think you've got something to say, even if that, they're better off putting their money together and finding an author who can write a book. Honestly, not your book, but the people in your chat, the spanners, would have been better off over the last 5 years if they'd given all that money to someone else to do something different, like write a book.
I can't find a way of getting my word out to the masses.
You've had that, and what you'd used it for turned the masses off you and made you into a figure of ridicule. You still are a figure of ridicule, and on top of that, it got you kicked off YouTube. Terms of service. Being a nasty man.
I'll never get a job as a reader, put it that way. Most of them bore me silly.
Big up, Sally. Thanks for your tippy. I assume it was you. Thanks for your tippy.
But I know I can do a better job.
Mukbangs.
There's facts, there's reality, and then there's your
bullshit. There's too many fucking idiots.
I know I can do a better job. And you know I can. But I can't find a way to get my word out there anymore. I can't find a way of getting my word out to the masses. Oh, TikTok, yeah, 1 million people. But they're an incident. TikTok, right? The demographics are
kids.
It's basically people that don't watch the news anymore. They want 1 second, 1 second, 10 seconds, 1 second, 10 seconds. I don't want that. I want to be able to talk to people for 10 minutes, quarter an hour.
Yep, TikTok. I did tell him when he went on, when he got kicked off YouTube, I did say TikTok is not the platform for you, so don't even bother with that. But he tried, valiantly failed. TikTok is not the platform for you. But you do spend 70 hours on there. It's so young. These are quotes from Alan. I mean,
I can't find the medium.
Can't find the medium. Oh, damn.
There's nothing for us to have 2,000. Find the medium that brings in the numbers.
Can't find the medium that brings in the numbers. It's YouTube. The medium is video and it's YouTube. But you've been there, done that, failed.
There's nothing for us to have 2,000 people in chat, was it, on YouTube? Remember that?
Alan, they were locked in their homes. Things were different.
Can't get the words out there anymore.
You said the words. Everyone's heard them.
Now we've got just I want to tell you, this coming Friday, Nicola Bully, Channel 5.
We do have to listen to this nonsense now. He's got ideas about this, but I guess we have to listen to this. I will speed this bit up though.
Documentary, everything you need.
We're going to be watching the Nicola Bully documentary. Come to Super Chuffer, obviously, and watch it yourself first live on the telly, without someone talking to you in your ear, so you can get to watch it on the damn telly like everyone else, yeah? And then afterward, I will boot up the stream, having just watched it myself, having recorded it, and be uploading it quickly to YouTube. So we can watch it on the stream, and then we'll watch it together on the stream. Obviously I won't get copyright knackers, but we'll watch the bits that are pertinent that we want to talk about live on the stream. So we'll do that. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Okay, I'll tell you about it. Nicola Bully, a year ago today, went missing. I think I'm right, 29th of Jan, because it's the day after my birthday. Freezing cold last year, Baltic, on the River Wye. 1 year ago today, Nicola Bully. This is another case that fascinates us, right? Because it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the narrative.
Doesn't fit the narrative.
And I've got a vested interest in this. Let me read this to you. I'll tell you why I've got a vested interest. Nicola Bulley went missing 27th of January, 2 days ago. Channel 5 have re-examined the disappearance in a new documentary.
Remember when his own
Appearing
birthday
in the programme is Nation World's editor-in-chief North, Nicola Adam, who's been interviewed following the case from the moment the news of disappearance broke. Now, Nicola is the editor for the Lancashire Post. Nicola Bulley and Nicola Adam, Nicola Adam, we wrote to because the story she was printing was different than the police narrative.
So when he says we wrote to her, obviously he doesn't mean him. He means one of his spanners.
If you remember my videos that have been destroyed, another reason why I had to leave YouTube, I quoted Nicola Adam and what she said to us.
And why have you not still got a copy of that? My guess is that they gave you a press release. You know, if you contact the press of the you know, I don't know if Nicola Adams is going to spend time, like she might have written you an email, but I don't know if she's going to spend time answering your questions necessarily, but I'm pretty sure they'll have press releases.
The story is totally different than the police's story or Sky's the next day. And yet they are now bringing her out of the closet. In a documentary this Friday.
She's not been out, like she's not been kept in a cupboard. She works for the media. Like she's got that in your mouth, have you, Alan? Your phone. Got your phone in your mouth. Everything that comes on the stream goes in his mouth.
Is she going to be like a total 180 or 360?
Well, 360 would be going all the way back round to her original opinion.
Has she been got at now?
Has she been got at? No, what I think you mean is, Alan, is that in the early stages of the investigation, a news reporter or the editor of the Lancashire Post has reported on it, and then later on, as facts have changed, as the police have come out and said, no, you may think that this was a witness, we followed that up though and we checked and it wasn't, or whatever, then they've reported the change. So like, it's this weird idea that he thinks that she in some way has been like got to, and they're doing a cover-up. It all has to be a conspiracy theory, doesn't it? We don't know what's going to be in this show. So already, without anything to say, Alan is casting conjecture and conspiracy wide into the air.
Because all the stuff she wrote in her papers, you can still see from the day, and they're totally different from the police. Has she been formatted to, like Peter Folding, change her whole story?
Well, you just said you can still see them and they're different. Well, if they're still there, then she's not been formatted, has she? In your words.
Is she now going to say exactly what the police narrative is instead of what she wrote on the the day? On the day is the best because she was quoting witnesses to what went on.
Yeah, so that's why in the early stages, you're going to go and gather some witness statements, and as the reporters, people are going to say some stuff. Like, it makes me remember, it reminds me of this, check this out. Like, they don't go on about this a lot, do they? But Daily Mail, Nicola Bulley went off. There's this short.
I think there's a possibility she's gone off with somebody.
This short's actually called, it's by the Daily Mail, and the short's actually called Nicola Bulley Speculation. I think she's gone off with somebody, where a random person says some stuff.
Possibility she's gone off with somebody. She would have been able to get out, but there's no sign of any slip marks or fall marks at that point. The local community have been pretty wound up about it, actually. I mean, certainly on this field.
He's got a dog poo in his bag, so he's not a poop and runner, he's got a dog poo. But that's speculation in the mainstream media, and it's just someone saying some stuff. So when you're the police in the early stages, you might take several different reports. When you're the mainstream press, or in this case the Lancashire Post, you might have taken a few statements like this, and you might have published some things, maybe even things that were a little bit confused, and someone says they saw her, and then when the police go to their house and say, can you provide us with a statement telling us about when you saw her, and they say, yes, I saw her because I was in the field at this time, and they say, weren't you? Because you also told us you were at work on that day. And they go, oh, sorry, I got my days wrong, or something, you know, like that. Anything like that, or the police follow them up and they check it, and some of these things get ironed out later. And it turns out that on-the-day witness accounts are not always the best accounts. By just gathering a random array of on-the-day witness accounts, a random array, Like, and they might be ironed out and filtered and processed, and the valid ones and the really, you know, legitimate ones, they come to the fore later and are more valid, I guess. And the ones that weren't, when they followed up, couldn't really be validated, couldn't be, you know, and all that sort of stuff, they're the ones that go by the wayside. And stuff like this is just total nonsense, isn't it? Like the Daily Mail literally having a short called Nicola Bulley Speculation, and then accusing the mainstream press, accusing people on the internet of speculating. But yeah,
I know your face. All these people were all interviewed by her. All the Caravan people were interviewed by her people. And the story they told.
See, all the Caravan people were interviewed by her people. Like, how do you know who was interviewed by whom? Do you know that all the Caravan people were interviewed by this editor from the Lancashire Post? No. You're just making it up because you want to try and make up some special reason why Alan's got some special insider information. You don't. What you did was, one of your spanners sent an email to the Lancashire Post and they answered a question you had or sent you a press release. And that was it. There's not going to be any special Alan bombshell. It
was different than the story you heard down the road. Now I want to see if this bombshell new evidence is her telling.
I knew he was going to say bombshell because I'd skipped through this earlier, like I said. Bombshell evidence. There's no bombshell evidence promised, Alan. That's not been... Do you see what I mean? The man's an arse.
Them, the truth of what she saw, what she told me.
I know it's childish.
Or...
There is no child porn on the internet. I hate to warn you that. There is no child porn on the internet. I checked.
Is she going to follow the police orders and say what they said? This is massively important because they don't know, and I'm not going to tell you everything today. They don't know what they've told us. This is like, I've got information that the public doesn't know.
See? If you had information the public doesn't know, you'd have dropped it ages ago, pretending you've got something special that no one else has. It's just rubbish, total rubbish. And on top of that, meaningless, like, the show hasn't come out yet. You don't know what this woman's part's going to be in it. You don't know whether she's going to do an extensive interview or just do a 10-minute bit. Like, it might come to nothing. I've got stuff they didn't know. Like, you missed the bluff you told us earlier. You've got a handful of nothing. Desperate. All of a sudden now, lucky for Alan, as it always is, isn't it? It's always very lucky and convenient for Alan that he manages to find a bombshell piece of evidence about the big case when he needs people to watch his stuff more than ever. Rubbish. He's hoping, he thinks, I know what Alan's thinking. He's thinking Nicola Bulley, Friday night, big show. You know, we'll all be on it on the internet, I tell you. We'll all be doing it, won't we? It's big money, isn't it? Big money. Time to capitalise on big money time. Because they're doing a Nicola Bulley on the telly and I can feed off... it's like something dead's been thrown in the sea and I'm going to go and shark feed off the corpse. Yum, yum. No thanks. Obviously, I'll be covering it on Friday night. I know the audience will want it. I'm interested. But the shark feed, the feeding frenzy thing, no thanks. But Alan's desperate. He already told us. He needs that money. He really, really does. He needs that money.
So I want to see what she says. And I'll be doing a live this Friday as it's on. And I'll be giving it to you blow by blow. I can't show it, but I will be watching it and explaining it to you. And you watch it with us, right? So
Alan will be on before my stream because Alan will be watching it live as everyone else watches it live and doing his show at the same time, which I think is a mistake. It's up to everyone can do what they want. But I'm going to let you just watch it yourself. I think it's better if it's on Channel 5, everyone's got it on the telly. Just watch it on the fucking telly. You don't want people yabbing in your ear, pausing and talking the whole way. Get your own view on the programme, and then we'll talk about it together. We'll bring up the clips. You know, we'll do a show afterwards. But I'm not going to sit there, like, telling you what's happening on the telly as my show. That's not happening. But it is for Alan. I'd avoid it if I were you.
Pick a date. This coming Friday, 9 o'clock. Tune in to Channel 5. I'll be doing a live show at the same time. And afterwards, we'll be discussing the difference between what Nicola Adams says on here, what Nicola Adams said in the newspaper, and what Nicola Adams told us. So interesting and so important. I'm in fear that Nicola Adams is going to go over to the dark side and agree with the police.
The police are the dark side?
I think she has little choice than to tone down what she said. Oh yeah, I spoke to somebody who saw Nicola just before she died, and they were talking about this and that, and there's a dog. And is that going to disappear? Because it was picked up by Isla Trencois and put on television. The same articles that this lady Adams wrote were picked up by Trencois and put on her Good Morning program.
But it wasn't that the articles were picked up by Isla Trencois, was it? It was that Isla Trencois said that she'd met somebody herself legitimately and reported this on the television, and then that came to nothing, wasn't it? This whole altercation on the path, this whole encounter that Alan turned into an altercation, an encounter on the path, that was a piece of early suggested hearsay that turned out, in my opinion, to be hearsay. I don't know, maybe it's in the inquest, maybe I'm forgetting things, but Isla Trencois, as far as I could remember, because again, just getting me remembering shit. Isla Trencois, though, went on telly and said something that was like, oh, is that real? Is that right? And then it came, no one could validate it, no one could verify it. And then she sort of went away a bit, didn't she? Because you can't just get onto the telly by having, like, she's like Alan, in my opinion. She had something sensational at the right moment, didn't she? And then it turned out to not be all that it was cooked up to be. So maybe her credibility went down, and maybe they didn't want to invite her back.
Which has since vanished along with her. Don't see her anymore, do you?
Good.
Is this woman going to be thrown under the bus? So she's got the Lancashire Post, and she talks about they approached the tragic story of the missing mum. She said, I've never known a story like it. National and international attention across the media and social media. In the documentary, I talk about how, as a local media, we featured themselves from the first day. We had to make ethical decisions around our coverage of a community so close to home, while also covering it comprehensively. Imagine being the editor.
Did you just literally read the news badly, like you said other YouTubers do? You said other YouTubers read the news, they don't put any life into it. You just did exactly that.
And knowing there's people there, tiny town, she can't upset them, can she? They all advertise in her paper. They all put their births and deaths in her paper. They're all like friends with her. They all got their sports teams in her paper. After 2 days, her stories became narrative. After 2 days, her stories became in line with the rest of mainstream media. I think she was pushed. The new Channel 5 documentary called Nicola Bulley, The Disappearance, 75 minutes long, will cover on-scene footage from an interview conducted by Dan Walker with Nicholas Parter. So he said more. He said more than what we saw.
Of course, Paul.
I do want.
Of course, Paul said more than what we saw. There's loads of B-roll that we didn't see, and what we really should be like. They go on. I tell you what annoys me: Mark Williams Thomas trying to pretend that he's solving crimes on the telly, and Dan Walker and that. Like, they should have had the police here to deal with this on our show. Knowing now, after looking back over it, the police didn't have the resources to deal with that influx of calls and attention. They didn't want that at that moment. And the idea that Paul Ansell said more in the interview, of course he did. But they're not really here to try and solve crimes, and they're there to make telly. So the extended interview with Paul Ansell, uncut, so to speak, not edited, and the bit where he coughs and does this, or, not edited, just the uncut full reel of him in the interview, that's never been leaked, that's never come out, has it? Oh no, we need that, because that's our actual content that we can sell on the telly. So I'm not just going to let the public see that and make up their own mind about everything that Paul said or did that day, which could be considered by some to be evidence in what could be considered by some to be a murder trial. Not that there's going to be one of those now, but you know what I mean? It seems a bit weird to me that you've got this extra video of Paul. Whoever's got that as well, the producers of that show, the editors have seen it in the edit. If you're a smart editor, you might have thought that's pretty explosive. I might just save that to a hard drive in case I need to work on it offline. But the editors have seen it. The people who are in the room saw it. Dan Walker saw it. The camera people saw it. The producers own it. Yeah, and they're sat on that, all that Paul Ansell footage. Maybe it'll come out later in another special, in another thing, whatever. I think what we're going to get on Friday is basically the same again, like the retelling of the same thing with added spice, because now we've got and the inquest said, and during this whole time, and all this, with a bit of added spice from the hindsight that we have, but ultimately we're going to get all the same old crap again, and then I think they will flavour it with Paul Ansell's uncut. And the uncut bit will be him crying, him breaking down, him unable to answer the question because it's just so emotional. It'll all be good for us. Any extra, I'll lap it up. I'll do a body language react to Paul's extra bits, of course, but I don't expect us to get a lot, to be honest. I think they'll set it on that, but ultimately it'll be a big fluff piece, 40 minutes of nothing with 20 minutes of adverts. And ultimately everyone will say that, I think overall they'll say, well, they wasted an opportunity to do something there, or to say something, to bring something to light. Any push and direction they give will be, like Alan says, the mainstream media want to hide it and put it under the bush. I think Peter Folding might bite the... Oh, it'll be there's an interesting concept. What's going to happen about Peter Folding? Because Peter Folding was on the original show. So does Peter Folding get a seat at this table again? Or does Peter Folding get... that's going to be interesting to me. Folding Gate will... how if they're not inviting Peter Folding back... Folding Gate. If they're not inviting him back, he'll be furious. Because that's like saying he's bollocks, isn't it? It'd be interesting, that will. Mark Williams Thomas is his big friend. So there's all that to go on. There's that to go on. But really, I don't think they're going to say anything new, are they? They're not going to rock the boat. The inquest has happened. They wanted to rest in peace. The final shots will be a big drone shot of the sun setting over the river or something, and the flowers and a montage. They'll do that shit, and they'll try and sort of egg it up with the old sentiment and say social media is bad. I think that's be what happened, won't it? I don't think they're going to be there saying that I think this inquest was a sham on Channel 5, are they? And the old footage they've got of Paul is old footage, so what are they going to put in? Like something about trying to find her? No, because we know where she is now, don't we? So no extra bits about his worries about where she is and trying to find her. Stuff that we would want to see. Extra bits about his worries and trying to find her. No. It'll be other bits, won't it? About how she was or who she is, and stuff like that. Like sentimental little fey bits. That's what I think, anyway.
Let's see. Get the old profilers out.
But I'm in an eggy mood now because I've been listening to Alan for 40 minutes. So.
And we'll cover the timeline of when she went missing to when her body was discovered weeks later. There'll also be testimony from others who have lived through the tragic story of Nicola Pulley's vanishing.
So that means there'll be people from the community who are randomers that are just there to fluff up the piece as well. Oh, it was terrible. Everybody in the village thought it was this, and I remember we stood out on the road with the signs. And they'll be nice to hear from them, but they won't be interested parties necessarily. So they'll be like fringe people. They're not going to be like. It would be weird though. I'll have my eye out. It'd be weird to see certain people in certain places. It would, but I'll have my eye out. I wonder how much Ernest Pulley will be in it.
So, when is Nicola Pulley, the documentary, on? Well, it's on February the 2nd on Channel 5 at 9 p.m. Be there on the screen and have me beside you.
Be there. No, be at your stream, you idiot. But don't.
And we will discuss it, and I will tell you my secrets or what I know as we go. I'm very interested in what she says. And I'm very interested if they get... I know your face. I'm pretty sure he's going to be on there. And Penny the caravan person. And tie the dogs. I'm sure they're tying up the dogs. I got someone told me about the documentary. They're going to go on about tying the dogs up on a short leash and that. So it's going to be so interesting.
Someone's told you about the documentary. What insider has told Alan about the documentary? He just assumes that tying up the dog bit is going to be interesting because they talk about it every time, don't they? So of course they're going to go over that.
But the trouble is, I know more than the public.
You know more than...
Now hold on, Lorraine.
And this is where I'm important and you're important here because we're gonna suss this out.
You're important.
Better. And that's what we do on the Armchair Detective Study Group. We investigate crime, right? We're not drama or hate, are we? They've ruined me, guys. They've literally ruined me.
Oh, wait, I'll have that at normal speed. Guys, they're all women that listen.
They've ruined me, guys. They've literally ruined me. They've taken my audience away and my living away. So if any of you got any ideas how I can make money online during the week to keep the channel going, let me know. Let me know. I can't ask you to up your patrons any more than you've done. You're doing all.
I can't ask you to give me any more money, although that was my first thought.
You can. I have to find another source of income.
What are you going to do? 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 Scotty Hottie will offer you cash money into your PayPal for doing a show on the internet for an hour at an hourly rate to be negotiated. Starting at the small end, I think we can cover 40 for the first one, although I don't want to offer it really. I want to say we start on the 20s. Like 40 is what I give to a legitimate person, like, you know, someone I want to have on. And I can't do it on YouTube, so the problem is like on a YouTube rate, I could do you 40, but I'm going to have to half that because we're not on YouTube. But it's Scotty Hottie offering you money, and if you do a good job, we can increase the money. If you can do a good job on the show, we can increase the money. It's going to come to Scotty Hottie's. Like, who else is offering you money? You're saying case update filed. I know I saw it, but I don't think it's anything to like. I don't think it's. Case board. The case active. Case last activity 30th of Jan. Timeline. Case filed. Like, nothing's changed other than the fact that it says 30th of Jan on it in inferred case status. I mean, I suppose, what is that? I mean, it proves that he did file a defence, in my opinion, I guess. No, it's just down here. You can't see it because it's cut off by the thing, but it says inferred case status active, last case activity 30th of Jan. Like, nothing changes on this thing. Like, so what happened on 30th of Jan, I don't know, but it's active.
Don't know what it is yet, but I'll find it. I refuse to give up because I've got this court case to fend off. I don't want them to win by a technicality. I don't want them to win by me giving up.
You just don't want them to win because you're an arsehole who's arrogant. That's going to be great, though. It's going to help to make things worse for you. So that's good. You don't want them to win. I know you don't want them to win. I know. That's why you haven't been able to, like, the sensible thing to do would have been to back down immediately, say sorry, make a public apology, delete the videos, offer them something in, like, recompense, like, even if it's monetary, and, oh, I don't want to give them, yeah, because you wouldn't be in this situation, because you were wrong, and you did the wrong thing.
Because that'd be all the wrong reasons, wouldn't it? Because then they would gloat that they've won, and I was a bad person, so I have to fight, man.
Alan, you are a bad person, and we gloat about that anyway. In my mind, you've lost anyway, in life, in general. You are a big loser. I put Dosser today, because, oh, I want money. Oh, can anyone think of any way of giving me money? Can Alan have got through this amount of his life and not thought of a way of earning money? Oh, and he gets his pension, and he's talking to people who give him £300 a month to the patron, who give him the tippies, who are members. Nancy gives him 20 grand a year, and he's asking if anyone has got any more. Can anyone think of any other way? And he won't go out of the home for it. He won't leave the house. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. It's got to be sitting here in front of this computer, talking on the internet, or nothing. And it's got to provide double the money I'm getting now. It's just so ridiculous, isn't it? Welcome to Dragon's Den. My proposal is I'm going to sit here and I just want loads of money. You could work for it, Alan, a bit, and I'll give you an opportunity. I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'll reiterate. At the moment, you'll think, oh, I don't want that silly little money. Scotty Hottie's not offering me enough money. But weekly, it can start to add up. And if we do a good job, then we can get more money. But you have to turn up and you have to be you. And I'm not asking you to perform like a organ grinder and the Monkeys, although there will be some of that. There will be some of that. You know, we're going to have you dressed up in karaoke at some point with a wig and going to have to get you dressed up in costumes. We'll talk about the rate for that. But, you know, we can get this going. You can be entertaining on the internet and I can wring the entertainment out of you. But that's the only way it's going to happen. You need me to produce the show. Because if you do it on your own, you don't get the money. I do. Right, let's say, for example, we get you doing a Tina Turner night, right? An hour of Tina Turner classics All you have to do is sing the Tina Turner songs and wear the wig. And maybe the dress and the heels. You don't have to wear the heels, but I suppose you can if you want to. But you do the well, Tina Turner, that would be cultural, wouldn't it? It'd be bad racism. So not Tina Turner, someone... Who do you like, Alan? We'll get him doing Cher. We're doing Cher night with Alan. So Alan gets in the Cher wig, and Alan comes on and does singing Cher. Yeah, he does it on his own stream. He doesn't earn a lot of monies for that. He comes onto my stream and does. He gets loads of money, so at least I do, and then I can offer him a bit more next week. So, like, it's a simple premise, isn't it, Alan? Like, we can't do it on YouTube, so you've devalued yourself. I keep saying this, but you come on the stream. We have some fun. At first, it can be simple. We can do more elaborate things later. And as it builds and as it grows, it's one of the most popular streams on Twitch, maybe. And as long as I can financially... Because without getting those YouTube money from the ongoing views, because I can't put it on YouTube, can I? You idiot, Alan. But without that, I can still offer you some money and we can still do it. It would still be a bit fun, but... eventually, it's going to be me offering Alan money and him refusing to take it and asking instead if those ladies could just give him some money.
And a lot of people said to me, we want you to fight Alan, you know, we don't want you to give in to bullying. I don't know why. Don't talk about the case. Why not? You talked about it. You made a Netflix movie about it. You went on Dr. Phil's about it. How can you be upset that people are talking about it when you go onto the 2 highest profile programs in America and talk about it and you expect us not to talk about it because you don't want us to? I'm sorry, the world's not like that. That's not how the world works. Not
Alan,
my world, anyway.
Not in your world, Alan, no. Lessons on how the world works with Alan Vinicum.
All right, now, I want to thank you all for your birthday wishes. If I wasn't so dyslexic, I'd reply to them all. So,
if you weren't dyslexic, you would have said thank you for the birthday wishes. But instead of thanking the people for the birthday wishes, you just couldn't be asked.
I prefer to do it here. If I sent you a message, it'd be like 4 words, and you go, well, you didn't say much. It's better I say it here, isn't it? I especially want to thank the people that sent statements I can use in any future court case. If there was one, I want to thank those people that spent their time and made some great stories, brought tears to my eyes. I read some of them, what you've been through, just for supporting me.
Wow.
Shocking.
Of course, Blind Bee, yeah, this is just for my audience. Alan's banned from YouTube, and this is not intending to cause him alarm and distress.
Did David Icke penetrate you with his penis?
Read them out one day. Daniel Bishop kindly give us a statement, and a few others, YouTubers, and some of you subscribers give us.
Thank you very much for the birthday wishes and statements that I need for my court case.
Statements, and it's a sad story of
got more statements for the court case than I did with the birthday wishes, really. But hey,
if anyone knows Dr. B, I could do with her story. I've seen.
If anyone knows Dr. B, you know Dr. B. She's supposed to be your friend.
I could do with her writing a story.
Writing a story? They're not supposed to be stories. They're supposed to be the truth.
She went through it bad, really bad.
Did she go through
I can understand her not being involved anymore. All right, well, I think that's about it for tonight.
Before we go, though, Alan, before you do go, I do just want to draw your attention to the
down here to come on
at his lower half.
My birthday. Still my birthday, as far as I'm concerned. You know, you have a birthday, it's sort of...
Just going to rewind that there. Just.
All right, well, I think that's about it for tonight. I wanted to come on, and this is sort of my birthday. Still my birthday, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, I'm not taking the piss out of how he looks just generally, but this bit here is a bit... I'm just a bit...
All right, well, I think that's about it for tonight. I wanted to come on, and this is sort of my birthday. Still my birthday, as far as I'm concerned.
It's not your birthday, Alan. It's birthday's over. Thank you, Babaloo Xanadu, for the €2. Thank you very much for that. I'll get you a button. I bet you I'll get you a good button for that. I'll get you a good button. Hang on. There must be a button that I haven't used enough. There must be a button down here. There must be one of these buttons. Oh, I haven't pressed this, even though I should have done, actually. This is the toxic alarm. I haven't been toxic yet, have I? Oh, no, wait. I'm being toxic right now.
You have a birthday, sometimes it's the day before as well and the day after, right? Well, that's what I've done. I went for a birthday meal tonight.
It's not, look, I'm not drawing attention to his boobies. That's not fair. We'll not do that. We'll not do that. I don't know, maybe it's fine. I don't know.
I know it's childish. All right, well, I think that's about it for tonight. I wanted to come on and this is sort of my birthday. Still my birthday, as far as I can say.
It's not your birthday.
You know, you have a birthday. Sometimes it's the day before as well, and the day after, right?
You know, when you have a birthday, sometimes it's the day before and the day after, right? You know, when you have one of those birthdays where it's the day before and the day after. You remember those birthdays where you have 3 days of solid birthday? No. No, my birthday's the day of my birthday, and that's it. What are you, 3 years old?
As I can say. You know, you have a birthday. Sometimes it's the day before as well, and the day after, right? Well, that's what I've done. I went for a birthday meal tonight, and I went a birthday meal with some other family last night, and I went out Saturday night. So,
While you were working on the case, busy working on the case, remember, Alan? At the start of today's episode, you told them that you'd been off because you were busy working on the case for the defence. But now you've been out for dinner 3 nights in a row as well, so...
You don't get many more birthdays when you're 69. When I'm 69. I don't want the next one, 70. No. No. I've got another year. I've got another year off. All right, guys.
What happens when you're 70? You have to stop trying to predate on kids on Twitter. Is that what happens? On TikTok. I've got the wrong app. On TikTok. Is it time to put TikTok down? I love this as well. He gets surprised by the microphone. Like he rotates the chair and it bumps into the microphone. And like you don't often see a streamer surprised by their own microphone like this, because nobody has their microphone behind them. He is a bit of a maverick. I'll give you that. You know, can you imagine if in 10 years' time every streamer's got their microphone behind them and they call it the Vinicum setup? It's just not going to happen.
No. I've got another year. I've got another year off.
Another year of TikTok. Oh.
All right, guys. So I say thank you for those messages.
Did it squeak round? How did it squeak round? Did he do that?
Off.
Yeah, he did it with his chair.
I've got another year. I've got another year off.
It squeaked round.
Right,
He's like, what's that?
So I say
It scares him.
a year off. All right, guys. So I say thank you.
There's a laugh at the end there. Oh, I have to try and find them where I get them, take them where I find them. He pushes the microphone with his chair. It squeaks round. This is good. This is like waiting for that thing to bounce into the corner of the screen on that, where the thing bounces into the corner. This is like that. He's only gone and hit the chair with the microphone, and it's turned round and it's gone squeak, and then he's done a double take. So he's only gone and done the old double take.
AD. There is no child porn on the internet. I hate to warn you that. There is no child porn on the internet. I checked.
I've got another year off. All right, guys.
That's that second look. Look, the second look. It's that second look. That one. That he's like, how did this happen? He's like, oh, it's just the microphone. But wait, how did the microphone turn around and squeak? Ghosts. Proof of ghosts caught on cam. AD proves ghosts caught on cam.
So I say thank you for those messages and those little messages that people are sending me that you recorded. Thank you. I won't name you because you get trolled, right? There's a number of people that sent me voice messages that are really nice, and I shall keep them. Thank you. But I can't thank you on here because they know your names.
And you can't thank them privately by the text message system of just replying with thank you because...
I know your name. I know your name. Where's Nancy? Nancy not here? No. Probably on a cruise again. Nancy is my Rottweiler.
I hope she enjoys that. I gave this man £20,000 a year, 4 years, and he describes me as a Rottweiler.
AD's sexual deviant. AD's a conman. AD's a crook. AD owes tax.
She takes them on head first.
She doesn't take anybody on head first. She gives you $200 a stream every now and then, quite regularly. I'm glad she's not there right now. He must be suffering no Nancy. I wonder what that's about.
She doesn't care that they are after her.
No one's after her. If she wants to come and talk to me on a stream, I'd love it. I'd say this out in public. You know, I've never tried to contact Nancy or directly find out anything about her, but I would love to know. So if she's real and she wants to come on a stream and just tell me all about it, I won't be rude to her. I won't be mean to her. I'll listen. I'll ask questions, sometimes interesting questions and maybe difficult questions. But, you know, I'll be reasonable, and like when she's given me answers, we'll move on from that. I would love to have Nancy on a stream. I would love it. So, like, I think even Nancy would understand, though, at this point, Alan is just getting money for pity, and that his worth and value as a researcher, as a detective, as someone who can share the information on YouTube, like not YouTube, like his worth is very, very, you know, stocks of Alan are down, aren't they? And there's a lot of other people, there's a lot of other horses you could back, and this one is a bit of a knacker. So
just goes get lost. But other people, it's upsetting. I understand that. So yeah, Nicola Bully this Friday, okay? Put it in your diary. Nicola Bully, Channel 5, 9 o'clock, and also on Rumble, okay? I'll be on Rumble. So that being said, my birthday was the 28th.
He did that being said. I should record that for that being said, but I don't think they'll use it because they don't know who he is.
Nicola Bully, Channel 5, 9 o'clock, and also on Rumble, okay? I'll be on Rumble. So that being said, my birthday was the 28th. It's now the 29th. Thank you
I had my background music on.
all my messages.
Thank you for all my messages.
And
Got that.
I know
he's reading this off a bit of paper or some shit. It's like if someone's written him a statement. I think, like, you know, he said about legal advice and stuff. I think they've said don't talk about this, and if you have to talk about it, he's had a row with them. I want to talk about it after, and they said right, we'll write a statement together. And he's gone off the piece. You know, he's started rambling, but he's looking down at something, and he had a piece of paper earlier. I think he's like, you know, make sure to thank people for messages. Make sure to do this. Da, da, da. He's like got a list.
For other years, we were much bigger parties. You know, years gone by, especially COVID, we had some great birthdays, didn't we?
Yeah, we had great birthdays during COVID. Do you remember COVID? All those great birthdays you had where you couldn't have anyone come to your party, where you couldn't go out and see any of your friends. Those great birthdays that we had in COVID. What are you on about?
But I just don't feel like celebrating this year. It's just like, because this court case, you imagine having a court case over your head for 3 years, right? And you don't know which way it's going to go, and it like wipes out your life. £100,000 they want.
I thought you knew you were definitely going to win.
It's on my
because
mind every day. I want a resolution from it.
Well, then plead guilty.
I want to appeal to the judge. Give us a court date. Let's go to court. Because I am not going to give them money. That's it. Take my money. You've taken my money. We're taking my house away. Taking my job away.
Taking my house away. Sorry, what? Taking my job away. Who's taking your job away, though? Because the court case hasn't happened, so they didn't take you off YouTube. You can take my money, but you'll never take my freedom, crossed his mind, but he thought, I can't say that because it is ridiculous.
What else can you do to me, really? We go on. And I just like to say, I will find a way to make money. And I'll be back tomorrow night. I'll see you tomorrow, guys.
Just the money thing again.
Like I say, I will find a way to make money.
What's so funny about being in a real situation financially? What does that mean? I will find a way to make money. He. Like what? Could you be any more like clandestine and criminal? I'm sorry, Mr. Viddicombe. Do you have some sort of plan on what you're going to do to make money? Because earlier on, you seem to be very upset about not having any way of making money, but now he. What?
And I'll be back tomorrow night. I'll see you tomorrow, guys, on Rumble.
Okay, good.
Thanks for all your support in the last year as well. 2024, trepidation. Let's step out into 2024 and see what happens.
Let's. It's like he talks as the group are like behind him on some sort of weird journey. Like, let's step out into 2024. They just get on with their own lives in between watching your episodes, Alan. Like, it's not like let's step out into 2024 together. They've all been doing normal stuff, Alan, unlike you. Good old COVID days, eh, Alan? The good old COVID days, look. 7 years old, my mama told me, don't talk to those pedos on Smule.
I know it's childish.
Yup. All right. We've had that man. We don't need that man. Rusick versus Vinicum, case filed. Inferred case status active. Last case activity 30th of Jan. So, yeah, that's happening still. Alan TikTok. Rubbish. Doesn't make him any money. Maybe makes him more money than he's telling them. Maybe he gets money from the views that is different from the money from the lives, and he's showing his patrons behind the scenes a different money thing. But I can't imagine it's worth much. No, and it doesn't pay through to his Rumble. No one's going to his Rumble to watch him. It's rubbish. Rumble right now. This idiot. He's doing Nicola Bullis. It's upcoming. His last one. These strangely get to 1,000 views each video, despite finishing the live stream on about 300. And most of your videos come within the video views come within the first hour, and like at the end of the first day, if it's not hit near 1,000, it's not getting there. But for Alan, he manages to get this boost a bit later on, which is lucky for him. Don't know how he does it, but he's got an upcoming one tonight, which will be bad. Or is that's the upcoming Friday probably? Oh no, it's tonight. 20 viewers are waiting. And in chat, it's all the same old people. Nothing has changed. Like, obviously nothing changes, does it? Until the moment he gets... Like, he's probably watching this right now. Hello, Alan. You're not supposed to be watching this. I'm not intending to cause you alarm and distress. But when you do your show tonight, do about 20 minutes of ramble at the start. Don't get straight into it and just do the facts, because it's boring. Your fans are bored of it. Everyone's bored of it. You've got to try and entertain. You've got to start to... You don't do drama. I don't do drama. I don't do drama. If you don't do anything... You know yourself, Alan, that controversy sells. That's what you prided yourself on doing, creating a controversy. Well, you've got to play the game now. Super Chuffers offered you some money to be on the show. What do you think about Super Chuffers' offer? Turn it down? Negotiate? What are you going to do? Talk on your show. Tell him what you think. Tell Super Chuffer if he can keep his stupid money, or if you're very grateful and you want to actually consider the offer. You know, why don't you do that? Why don't you act like a man and talk like a man? Hey, I bet he's watching this now. He's not on his own show, is he? He's not on his own show. Wonder what he's doing. Oh, you bad Chuffer. He's probably playing poker. I did see that Break the Ice has done a very random and... Like, on my hard drive, I've got some photos from my old holiday. Thought you'd like to see them. So that just, like, you know, bear in mind, there's an order of play, there's an order of stuff I can do, and absolute junk doesn't manage to make it off the bottom onto the bottom of the list. It's like a heavyweights. Like, what we're doing over here on Battery Exhausted at the moment, it's like a heavyweight showdown. It's like a heavyweight showdown now, right? We've got different people. Oh, we've got John Wedgie. We could be looking more into John Wedgie. He's done different things. Angry Allen's one of the. There's another heavyweight, Foodie Beauty. She doesn't get as many views. You chuffers not as interested in Foodie Beauty. I've got other people that I find interesting. Obviously, Luke had his little, you know, time in the sun, didn't he? But there's other people I find interesting too. Of course, it's not just Angry Allen. There's Dark Side Phil. He's a bit of a chuffer. There's quite a few others, and we do Not to Watch, and I find other people. Ellie Arquette, if I pull my finger out, Ellie Arquette might come on the stream. She's been not unhappy with the idea about coming on the stream and doing a bit of a chalk and cheese. You know, she's going to tell me all about all the nonsense in Hollywood, and I'm going to actually be like, wow, that's really interesting. I'm not going to disagree with that. But, like, obviously she's a Satanist as well, so I'm going to question her about that and be like, hey, how come you're a Satanist though? I thought the Satanists were the bad people in the Hollywood. But, like, she's got her personality, I've got mine. Maybe you don't like that, maybe you do. But we've got irons in the fire here. Battery Exhausted, that's the channel you're watching now. If you haven't subscribed, then basically you don't deserve to be here and you should just fuck off, basically. I didn't say that, I'm joking. It's a joke-kiss. It's a joke-kiss. They're not going to subscribe with that attitude, are they?
Hello, Moto.
Oh, getting a call from John Wedger.
How are you? I am under the water. Please help me. Did David Icke penetrate you with his penis?
And I'll tell you what, we're coming up on Battery Exhausted is we've got the Brian Harvey Marathon. Like, I need to just watch and react to Brian Harvey's recent content. Like, he's been dumping a lot of it on the internet, and that's coming up this week, I think. If I don't do it soon, it'll get put on the back burner too much, and it's just a marathon of just watching Brian Harvey's videos and going, oh, what the fuck? Oh my god. But I want to watch them, and I don't think in context that's the first thing that needs to go on Super Chuffer about Brian Harvey, is just me watching loads of his content, like unabridged, so to speak. But it is battery exhausted content, so we're going to do that over here as a live stream. So that's coming up. So like we've got a heavyweight showdown, is what I'm saying. And if you know any other people you want to sling into the mix, I'm looking at internet. I'm looking at lolcows predominantly, but also eccentrics. I think we're going to start bringing eccentrics in, widening that, broadening that topic. Like Ellie Arquette, I'm not saying she's a lolcow, and Brian Harvey's definitely not a lolcow. Angry Alan is a lolcow. That's who he is. That's what he is. That's the value he has on the internet as a lolcow. He's a laughing stock. Alan Vinnicum's a laughing stock. And some of the others create different. Like we've got different. Like Alan's a narcissist, so there's that as well. But yeah, we've got stuff going on there, and of course, he was just shouting it out. It's Nicola Bully week again, isn't it? And as much as I sort of despise the feeding frenzy, I'm going to be doing a live stream about. I'm going to hopefully reformat that COP review. I'm going to do that as a live stream where I watch my own stream and say, no, you got it wrong. No, you got that wrong when I get it wrong, because I need to reformat that one that I got wrong. I need to push on with the COP review still. I need to. I'm constructing a video about gin, of all things, and we've got obviously Friday, haven't we? That's going to be big news on the old thing, and I don't know what's going to happen in that, whether it creates further episodes or whether it's all covered in one. But my guess is that we'll see a bit more Paul Ansell, so maybe we get at least one further Paul Ansell body language reaction video. So yeah, we've got things all set and poised. I've got content for days lined up for Super Chuffer, and then that leads us into when Steve starts a return to the content with his back operations. That's all set and poised, going great. 2024, not trepidation for me. I'm really looking forward to it. Things are going really well. I'm really grateful tonight. I've been blessed. I've been blessed tonight.
Okay, alright. So thank you so much for that super trooper. Okay, alright.
Thank you very much for blessing me with the tippies, with your being here. A lot of people sometimes say, oh, you know, it's all right for I can't afford. If you didn't tip, I'm not like, oh, you're like there's tippies people and then there's the people who didn't tip. It's not that at all. Like, actually, one of the things that really, really helps this stream, or any stream, including other people's if you like them, is sharing it and putting it on Facebook and, like, you know, saying, hey, I watch this, or especially a friend. If you've got a friend, because you've got friends, like, they've probably got a similar sense of humour to you. So if you found something really funny or whatever, then like maybe you could say to them, I'm watching these streams and they get pretty funny. Although tonight's wasn't the most funny. I don't know, the buttons helped me tonight. I got by on the buttons, really.
Disgusting!
But, you know, the funny moments we have and all the stuff that goes on, you know, sharing it is really, really helpful for the growth, isn't it? So, and I'd mainly say, you know, what we do here is the B side and it's a bit of fun. Really, the main A side is the Super Chuffer stuff. That's where I'd really like to sort of push forward and grow. Of course, we're also on Twitch. That's over on Twitch. I play games, I mess about. It's 10 o'clock at night now, so I might even jump on there for an hour after this, play a bit of Genshin Impact. We have no rules. We try and watch some Neighbours from time to time, and you can check out Super Chuffer for you to see Neighbours and stuff. I'm going to stop shilling for myself. My point was, at the end of Alan's nonsense, I wanted to point out Alan was in a situation where he doesn't know what he's doing. He's got another, every now and then there's a toot of the horn. You know, they're doing a show on the telly, I can try and, but, you know, increasingly obvious to him that he's getting nowhere with all of his fruitless endeavours, and he's reached the thin end of the wedge. We hope that that court case does come to fruition, and we are, you know, we're waiting and keeping an eye on it, aren't we? If I could find out a bit more, and I'd probably do a separate stream where I discuss what I think about the crowdfund and what I'd like to know and stuff. I might even be tempted to throw some money into it myself, you know, because I haven't yet. Because, like I said, not really my battle. Alan Vinnicum's defamation of Frankie Russo. I don't even know what Alan said, and I wasn't around back then. But if it's a bucket of money that needs to go to a certain number, and if it hits that number, everything that Alan keeps going on about, you know, oh, they can't afford to do it, and they can't afford to, they won't care. All right, then, well, now they can afford to do it. Now what? You know, I'm quite happy to put money into that bucket. So, yeah, I'll keep an eye on it all. But the main thing was, I was saying that Alan doesn't know what he's doing and is confused and has got himself in a real bad situation. He never listened to the Super Chuffer, did he? Like, he never listened to the Super Chuffer.
Good luck with your channel, son. Good luck with your channel, son. Good luck with your channel, son.
Well, thank you very much, Alan, for the good luck. I can offer you money to do some streaming. Like, that is what you want. You've got no other offers for any offers for extra money. You're desperate for extra money. I can offer you money for doing streaming. You have to do it on stream with me. You have to be my guest on the show. And it can't go on YouTube because it's ban evasion for you, remember? But I can offer you money for being on the show. So you might have to come to me. I'm not going to try and harass you. You might have to come to me. You could talk about it on your show, couldn't you? You could talk about it on your show, which you're not on yet. He's got a few watching now, though. Look, 50 watching. Maybe he's paid the money. Maybe he's upped the numbers. There must be a website you can do that, huh? Hey, Alan? Because I can't imagine 50 people are sat there waiting for this to happen. Nothing's happening. That's not gone up. Although I did just advertise it on my stream, didn't I? So maybe it's that. But, Nah. He's got that Painful Slow channel, hasn't he? He's got Painful Slow, yeah. I wonder if that's still up. Painful Slow. That still exists. That's Alan's channel on YouTube. Still up. Still needs reporting more. But at least he can't use it for any, like, you know, he can't legitimately have a YouTube channel, can he? You can't put content out there and try and make money off it, so. Whilst he can sneak evade the ban, because Alan needs YouTube in order to make his content. You watch him watch YouTube videos all the time. He needs YouTube to make his content. It's pathetic, isn't it? Crying about how bad it is, crying about how terrible YouTube is, crying about all the bad people on there. And he got banned for terms of service violations, and he's off, and he desperately needs it. He needs YouTube. He doesn't know how to run his own business. He doesn't know how to run his own life. And if he listened to the Super Chuffer, he'd take my advice and he'd get in contact. He'd talk about it on the show tonight, on his own show. He would talk about it on the show and he'd get in contact. He'd even do 20 or 30 minutes of Alan's talk of the day. Not bad news stories about death and murder and stuff, just the light-hearted stuff. And did you see this? You know, and did you see that? A bit of a chit-chat for 20, 30 minutes, get things going. Get the vibe right before he goes into the story. And like, then we can do a bit of a react to some of the stuff he says. Like, if he's got any half a brain, he'll listen to Super Chuffer. Can't see that happening though. So yeah, we'll come to the end of the stream tonight. It's been a bit of a good one, I think. I mean, I think I was a bit eggy about it. Because Alan said so many lies and outright, you know, after all this time coming on the internet and saying, no, it's not like that, it's like this, it's just not good enough. But hopefully we had a bit of fun as well. You were all very generous. I'm very grateful. I'm absolutely very grateful. I will endeavour to try and make some cool members stuff for this channel in terms of content that you might want to watch. Because there's a load of members right now. So I'll have a think. I've got a couple of ideas.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh.
Good evening.
Oh.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm not going to live restream him because he's banned off YouTube and I don't want to help him ban evade. I don't want him to think I'm helping him. Obviously, I'm critiquing him. But also, I don't want to listen to him talking shit. But
can you see me and hear me?
The only thing is, I want to know if he's going to say, hello, Super Chuffer. I've been watching you. I'm going to take you up on your offer.
Just talk to myself till I get a message.
Don't talk to yourself. Talk to Super Chuffer. Say that you're taking his offer.
Anybody see me?
I can see you. Are you taking Super Chuffer's offer?
Hear me?
I think people would tune out by now, Alan.
Hello? Okay, we're away. Okay, so Nicola Bully, this time last year she's missing. This time last year she's missing. Already it's the 30th.
Straight on the Nicola Bully. He's desperate to grind out the money from the Nicola Bully case by doing a video every day now. This time last year this was happening. This time last year this was happening. Every fucking day you'll get this from Alan now. And it'll be a desperate grind. A very, very gruesome, you know, shallow, pathetic grind for money. And it's a bit sad, isn't it, that a year on, this time last year, well, we're a year on, and you've got nothing, come nowhere. Still saying the same things from a year ago. Useless. Yeah, that's what's happening there. All right, so I'm tired of being mean to him now. It's time to say no nights. I'm really grateful to everyone. Thank you all for all your support. It's nice to take a narcissist town in Chuffer Town and smack his bum around. And it's nice to press these buttons. And I've got one final button which I said I'd play at the end, so I'm going to press this button and play it at the end, and I'll say this will be like my this won't be my theme tune, and it won't be my consistent, because I've taken someone else's music, slowed it down, reversed it, so it's not entirely copyright free, but I don't think they'll find out, and I don't think they'll care, but I'll press it today for once as the theme tune, as the end, and I'll just say, if you can't be good, like, thank you very much, you've been good, and if you can't be good, you're naughty.